From Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, Michigan, it's almost time for Rockford Rivets baseball. With just 8 games remaining in the regular season, the Rockford Rivets take on the first half champion, Traverse City Pittsbitters. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us and welcome to Michigan. Alongside Ethan Blake, it's Larry Larson in with you. And Ethan, the Rivets have now played back-to-back extra inning games. First, a victory over the Lakeshore Chinooks on the road on Thursday night, and then last night at home, they dropped one 4-2 in extras at home against Lakeshore, and it really felt like a must-win game for Rockford last night, but they couldn't come through, and really their playoff chase is all but over.
I think that's pretty clear. The Rivets are out of the playoffs here. The players know it, we know it, the fans know it, but there's still a lot that can be taken away from this last week. Guys are looking to develop, get ready for their fall season at school. Guys are maybe looking to earn an invite back to next year's Rivets team, or maybe draw some attention from other teams around the Northwoods League to get an opportunity to play here. So there's still a lot on the line here, even if a playoff spot isn't really in the picture.
The Rivets entered tonight's ball game with a 27-36 overall record, 7 games out of first place in the second half. Traverse City, on the other hand, as we mentioned, clinched the first half title in the Great Lakes East, so they're locked into a playoff spot. But the race to watch for them is the overall standings race, as between Kokomo, who leads the division right now, and Traverse City, whichever of those teams has the better overall record gets to choose their home field advantage situation for their 3-game playoff series to decide who gets out of the Great Lakes East. So Traverse City is currently trailing Kokomo by 2 games in that race after splitting a series with the Jackrabbits in Indiana. So marginal momentum for Traverse City, but we know that the Pittsbitters have absolutely dominated the Rivets pretty much for their entire existence. Traverse City is 7-1 against the Rivets this summer, and they've outscored the Rivets 88-33.
That number is just leaves me speechless. I have nothing to say about that. I mean, this is a good opportunity for the Rivets to come up here, play spoiler a little bit against the team that has plagued them so much for this year and 2 years ago in 2019 when it was another rough year against Traverse City. So I know that the Rivets come in here, they want to win. Anybody wants to win, even if there's nothing on the line, but a good chance to kind of put a damper on Traverse City's playoff momentum.
Absolutely. There's always something special about trying to play spoiler. Let's take a look at today's pitching matchup. It'll be Brendan Lowry, bit of a 3-quarter sidearm left-hander for the Rivets, taking on Cade Heil, the right-hander from North Georgia for Traverse City.
Brendan Lowry, a guy that has yet to start a game for the Rivets this year. Did do a lot of starting at Waubonsie his last year. He's off to Eckerd College this upcoming season. Has only pitched 11 innings so far with the Rivets. Was a second-half addition, a guy that returned from last year's temp squad at the end of the year. Currently sporting an 8.18 ERA with 12 strikeouts and 15 walks. Those walks are really going to be the key for Lowry in today's game, avoiding those early and avoiding those with 0 or 1 out.
Absolutely. Lowry had a really nice last outing out of the bullpen. He went 4 innings against the Kalamazoo Growlers on July 29th. Did not let up an earned run, but you mentioned those walks. He walked 6 batters. Cade Heil, on the other hand, has been a little bit up and down for Traverse City. He's got an ERA of 4.97 in 8 games started and 9 total appearances and 41 2/3 innings pitched. He's got a 2-3 record, but he's got pretty good stuff. But the Rivets have not faced him yet, and that could be a good or a bad thing.
Definitely an interesting factor that comes into play here. At this point, a lot of the starters that we're starting to see as in this last week are familiar, at least in some way, to the Rivets. So seeing a new arm on the mound could be an adjustment. First time through, we might not see a lot of offense, but hopefully the Rivets can jump on the starter before seeing the back end of that Traverse City bullpen.
And the same goes for Lowry, if I'm not mistaken. He has not pitched against Traverse City so far this summer. So 2 fresh faces for the opposition. And we'll take a look at tonight's scenery here in Northwest Michigan. It is a bit of an overcast evening. The temperature hovering right around 80 degrees. Pretty high humidity. The lights have been flipped on the all-turf surface here at Turtle Creek Stadium. And Ethan, we expect a big crowd tonight. It's fireworks night, a Saturday home game for Traverse City, who tends to draw pretty well.
The last Saturday home game of the year for Traverse City. This will definitely be a good crowd, should be exciting. The Rivets love playing in front of some good crowds. They've seen a lot over these last few weeks. Fans are really starting to come out for these August games in the Northwoods League. They know the season's coming to a close, want to get out, see a game or two. But, yeah, definitely expecting a fun night.
That's what we're expecting in terms of the crowd. How about the dimensions here? It's not a hitter-friendly ballpark. 320 down each of the lines and 400 to dead center. I'd estimate about 360 to the alleys on both sides. And the ball just really has not carried here all season long.
No, I think if I'm not mistaken, we've seen one home run here the whole time we were here, and it was right down the right field line, barely slipped out. We've seen a couple balls barreled up, but it is really hard to hit one out here at Turtle Creek Stadium.
It's a big part of the reason why that Traverse City has the 4th best pitching staff in the Northwoods League in terms of ERA with a 3.75 mark. So they're certainly a pitching and defense team, and we'll talk about that throughout the broadcast. We're going to step aside for a brief break and come back with the starting lineups and baseball from Turtle Creek Stadium. You're listening to the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Welcome back to Traverse City, Michigan. We're moments away from baseball, and we just witnessed a rousing national anthem with fireworks included. If that doesn't get you juiced up for baseball, I don't know what will.
Definitely a good feel here. Got the crowd engaged early. I haven't seen that yet at a Northwoods League game this season, so really cool addition from the Pittsbitters, giving a preview of what's to come later tonight.
Traverse City breaking out all the stops. We're about 2 minutes away from first pitch. Let's get you the starting lineups. First for the visiting Rockford Rivets, managed by J.T. Scara. Connor Goodman in the top spot for the second consecutive night after he got on base 4 times last night. The sophomore from UW-Milwaukee will play left field. Jack Kavanaugh will bat second and play right. Kevin Bushnell will bat third and be the DH. Charlie Allison bats cleanup. He'll play first base. Brandon Bannon is the third baseman, batting fifth. Donovan Noble will make his Rockford Rivets debut tonight, batting sixth and playing shortstop. Johannes Hawkinson, the former Traverse City Pittsburgher, is out in center, batting seventh. Drew Stengren will catch and bat eighth. And Jake Bolada will bat ninth and play second base. Those are the Rivets. These are the Traverse City Pittsburghers. Zeb Ruse, the sophomore from Wofford, will play center field and bat leadoff. Mario Camilletti, one of the top on-base percentage guys in the Northwoods League, bats second, plays second base. Tito Flores at third base. Evan Madej out in right field, batting fourth. Michael Steigels is the first baseman. Trey Younger is out in left field. Miguel Useche behind the plate. Camden Traficante will play shortstop, and Jake Arnold rounds it out as the DH. We're about set for baseball. Cade Heil, the starting pitcher for Traverse City, kicks and delivers the first pitch, and it's a fastball cut on missed, and it's 0-1, and we're underway at 7:05 Eastern. Heil winds and fires, and the 0-1 is shot just above the Traverse City dugout. It's quickly 0-2.
Not a surprising aggressive approach here from Connor Goodman, a guy who's not super familiar with the leadoff spot, but knew he wanted to go in there swinging and has done so far.
Heil fires the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses outside, 1-2. Leo Cintron is the home plate umpire tonight. Mason Labuda is over at first base, and Rick Freitas is the third base umpire. Heil fires the 1-2, swung on and missed. Strike three on a breaking ball low of the zone, and it's a quick out number one in the top of the first. So here's Jack Kavanaugh, perhaps the Rivets' hottest hitter, Ethan. Just joined the team a few games ago, and he's 5 for 10 in 3 games. Kavanaugh
really has opened his Rivets career with a bang, a guy who has played some Northwoods League baseball before.
First pitch to him, a little dribbler down to first base. Michael Steigels gobbles it up and tosses less than 2 feet away from him to the pitcher, Heil, who covers the bag, and that is out number 2. Heil, the righty from North Georgia, working highly efficiently. Nobody on, scoreless ball game, top half of the first, and here is Kevin Bushnell, Rivets DH tonight. Righty on righty, and the first pitch is popped up into shallow right field. Evan Madej makes the play, and the inning is over. It's a quick 1-2-3 top half of the first inning for Rockford. And after a half, it's Rivets nothing, Traverse City coming up after a break on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Bottom of the first inning at Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, Michigan. Scoreless between the Rockford Rivets and Traverse City Pittsbitters. It is game number 9 of a 12-game season series between these Great Lakes East rivals. Traverse City has already locked up its playoff spot. The Rivets are out of playoff contention. And Brendan Lowry, a left-hander, will take the ball for Rockford, making his first start of the summer. We'll see what he can do against these Pittsbitters. And he'll start by facing Zeb Ruse, Mario Camilletti, and Tito Flores. Zeb Ruse getting the crowd engaged with his walk-up song. The crowd claps along, and here's the first pitch to the right-handed batter, swung on and fouled straight back. It's 0-1.
And Ruse in the leadoff spot, not only getting the crowd into it, but he's a very difficult out, has really performed well against the Rivets especially this year. So for Brendan Lowry to possibly get this out here would be a big sign of things to come.
The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball, falls in there, taken for a called strike 2. Lowry is not the type of pitcher to blow fastballs by you. He's more of a finesse guy, going with a 3/4 delivery from the left side. Can be tricky sometimes. Here's the wind in the 0-2. Pitch misses high, a fastball just above letter height to Ruse, and it's 1-2.
Lowry, a strong example of the soft lefty roll that you see a lot on teams. He throws a little harder than your typical soft lefty, but still, like you said, trying to work around barrels instead of blowing it by you.
1-2 pitch, misses outside, just off the outside corner, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lowry with an ERA of 8.18 in 11 innings so far this summer. Here's his 2-2. Fastball misses down and in, and the count is run full. And Ethan, this is really what Traverse City does best. They're 4th in the league in on-base percentage and 1st in walks.
And we talked before the game, Brendan Lowry needs to avoid these walks, especially early.
Payoff pitch misses low, and after Lowry was ahead 0-2, he throws 4 straight balls to Zeb Ruse, and the leadoff man is on in the bottom of the first. Rivets and Pittsbitters scoreless as Mario Camilletti, a left-handed batter from Central Michigan, strides to the plate. And he gives Drew Stengren a playful punch on the back. Central Michigan teammates there. Stengren doing the catching tonight. Camilletti with a whopping on-base percentage of .502. One of the toughest outs in the entire league. 53 walks. Lowry sets and fires the first pitch. Misses well outside, 1-0.
That's really a crazy number. I mean, in a time where the game's really shifting away from that type of on-base approach, Camilletti, a perfect example of why it's so important to get on base, a guy that gets on base every other at-bat.
Lowry has the sign and delivers the 1-0. Breaking ball in there for a called strike on the inside part of the zone, 1-1. That was a big pitch for Lowry, who had delivered 5 straight balls.
Definitely, and we've seen Lowry's not a guy that's unaware of his struggles to find the strike zone so far. He knew that he would have to avoid those walks.
Long pause before the 1-1. And it slides too far outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Zeb Ruse on first base is a runner to keep an eye on. He's swiped 19 bags this summer. Lowry standing at 6'3", 230 pounds, bends at the waist, looking for the sign from the catcher, Stengren. He receives it. Here's the 2-1 offering. Line drive over Jake Bellotta at second base into right center field. The center fielder, Hawkinson, can't knock it down. Ruse will round third. He sheds the helmet. The throw to the plate is not made. And it's an RBI base hit for Mario Camilletti. And just like that, it's 1-0 Traverse City in the bottom of the first.
Bit surprised to see the hold there from Donovan Noble. Looked like he may have had a chance at Ruse at home, but Traverse City strikes first on a fielding mishap by Hawkinson.
And you'd imagine that Hawkinson would be familiar with this turf outfield. However, he could not make the play there. And it's going to be scored a double for Camilletti. His 29th RBI of the summer is Tito Flores, a right-handed batter from Michigan, climbs in the right-handed batter's box. He's got 36 RBIs this summer. First pitch to him. Foul ball straight back to the screen. It's 0-1.
This is not a good start for Rockford here. Definitely not the one they wanted. Brendan Lowry needs to give them a few more innings because for today, the Rivets have 3 eligible bullpen arms, all righties, all guys that aren't really guys that can do long relief. Maybe maximum of 3 innings from each of them.
Long pause and the 0-1 from Lowry. Swing and a miss on a fastball on the inner half. It's 0-2. Promising start. Flores has been a star for Traverse City this summer. Played in the Major League Dream Showcase. And counting that game, he's on a 3-game hit streak. He's got an RBI in 3 straight games. He holds the bat at his chest. Now brings it above his shoulder in the 0-2. Misses high, 1-2. This is something that we saw in the first at-bat for Lowry against Zeb Ruse. He could not finish. And when he gets out in front of Traverse City batters, that's going to be such a big key, is just finishing at-bats. Got to capitalize on those opportunities against good hitters. The lefty gets the sign. He sets below the belt and comes home with a 1-2. Liner down the right field line, and it drops fair. Camilletti going to get the wave around third base, and he will score. Flores stops at first base, and it's an RBI for the sophomore from Michigan. 2-0 Traverse City in the bottom of the first.
And the Pittsburgh's batters seem to be seeing the ball well out of Brendan Lowry's hand. He has a bit of an awkward delivery. A low arm slot, not exactly sidearm, not exactly 3/4, somewhere in between. But seems to be no adjustment period needed for the Traverse City hitters.
A movie that we've seen too many times for the Rivets this summer, early runs. Evan Madej, a left-handed hitter, climbs in, and the first pitch to him runs inside, ball 1. Madej is a junior from Hope College. He's batting .286 in 5 games this summer. But Ethan, the Rivets have now surrendered 127 runs in the first 2 innings of games this summer. The kick in the 1-0. Slow breaking ball catches the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. And whether or not the Rivets allow a run in the first 2 innings is really not really in question very often anymore. The 1-1 pitch, slider down and outside, taken for ball 2. Because they do it so often, they're so used to playing from behind. So that's not to say the Rivets can't come back in this game, because they're used to playing from behind, because they've allowed a run in the first 2 innings in now 41 of 65 games. 2-1 offering to Madej. Ground ball to second, could be 2. Bellata gobbles it up, throws to second for 1. The relay from Noble is in time at first base. 4-6-3, twin killing. A gigantic first 2 outs of the bottom of the first.
Huge ground ball there, may provide a bit of a reset opportunity. Obviously, already trailing 2-0, but the bases are empty now. All you can focus on is getting this final out, getting the Rivets back in the dugout. And like you said, Rockford's a team that can play from behind. They're used to it. They're never not confident in their ability to win a game, especially when it's only a 2-run deficit.
First pitch to Michael Steigels. He takes a fastball outside, 1-0. Steigels, the redshirt junior from Oakland. Batting from the right side here, with a batting average of .267 this summer. The wind in the 1-0. A swing and a chopper foul up the third base side, 1-1. Of course, the number to watch every inning for Lowry, if he wants to go deep into this ballgame, is the pitch count inning to inning. He's at 20 pitches this frame, a good amount below that 35 count limit. The 1-1, sweeping breaking ball misses inside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
And we've seen a lot of Rivets pitchers get pulled because of that 35 pitch mark, some in really bad performances and some in solid performances that just got drawn out.
2-1, fastball misses outside. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Now the key for Lowry is going to be finishing this inning and trying to induce contact here against Steigels, because he can't afford to go that much further. Steigels soars the next pitch into right field. Jack Kavanaugh moves back on it, camps underneath it, and the inning is over as he makes the grab. Traverse City scores 2 runs on 2 hits and 1 walk in the bottom of the first, but then Brendan Lowry settles down a little bit. After 1, it's 2-0 Traverse City over Rockford on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. It's the Traverse City Pittsburghers 2 and the Rockford Rivets nothing. Still early in this ball game. Headed to the second inning. Traverse City getting runs in the bottom of the first thanks to an RBI double from Mario Camilletti and an RBI single from Tito Flores. The Rivets will look to come back against Cade Heil, who set them down 1-2-3 in the top of the first. It'll be 4-5-6 in the Rivets order, starting with Charlie Allison, the sophomore from Black Hawk College. He was 0 for 4 yesterday. His bat's been cold lately. Cade Heil, the righty, working to the lefty Allison. The kick in the first pitch. Fastball misses on the turf, 1-0.
You mentioned it there, Charlie Allison. Kind of in a cold stretch here. We got 3 bats coming up that are going to be looking to get going. Allison and Bannon have been less than where they want to be, and Noble coming in for his first day.
The 1-0 is swung on and missed. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Allison batting just .095 in a handful of games. Here's the 1-1 pitch. A hopper down to first base. Michael Steigels gloves it and flips to the pitcher, Cade Heil, who covers the bag for out number 1. Rivets trailing 2-0, top of the second. 8 games remain in the Northwoods League regular season. The Rivets 7 games out of playoff contention. And we can probably stop watching the scoreboard just for the sake of the Rivets' playoff hopes. Traverse City, they're headed to the playoffs no matter what they do these last 8 games. They clinched thanks to a first-half division title. First pitch to the righty, Brandon Bannon is in there for a called strike. Fastball on the outside, Black, 0-1. One storyline to watch, as we've kind of discussed throughout the broadcast, is the Rivets' short-handedness tonight. 0-1, ground ball to shortstop. Camden Traficante charges and throws in time to first base. 2 up, 2 down, and 5 up, 5 down overall for Cade Heil in 2 2/3 innings of work, or 1 2/3, I should say. Traverse City on top, 2-zip.
And you talked about the shorthandedness there. As I mentioned last inning, the Rivets brought four relievers on this trip. 3 are available today. Ryan Green finishing up his required rest by pitch count rules.
First pitch to Donovan Noble, and he takes strike 1. A fastball paints the black. It's 0-1. Noble getting his first Northwoods League ups here, coming to the Rivets from the Midwest Collegiate League. The kick in the 0-1. Swinging a little nubber foul up the first base side, quickly 0-2. But Noble had a great season in the Midwest Collegiate League. Was a member of a team that made the playoffs, batted over 300, and he set the league record for walks. He's got a small strike zone, standing below 6 foot. 0-2, swung on and missed on a breaking ball from Cade Heil, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for the right-hander from North Georgia. After 1.5, it's the Rivets nothing and the Traverse City Pittsburghers 2 on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. It's the bottom of the second inning in Traverse City, Michigan, with Pittsburghers leading the Rockford Rivets 2-0 on 2 RBI knocks in the bottom of the first. Brendan Lowry will look to bounce back here in the bottom of the second inning, facing 6, 7, 8 in the Spitters order, starting with Trey Younger. First pitch to the right-handed batter. Pitch misses way inside. Younger juts his hips back to get out of the way, and it's 1-0.
Trey Younger, another guy from this Pittsburghers order that has seen a lot of success against the Rivets, took home player of the night in one of the games against Rockford.
The 1-0 fastball just misses off the inside corner. 2 balls and no strikes. Younger batting .277, so pretty good campaign for him this summer. The wind in the 2-0. Fastball dots the outside corner that time. 2 balls and a strike. But Younger, the freshman from Wofford, is riding a 6-game hit streak and has walked in 4 straight games. So he's playing some of his best baseball lately. 2-1 to him. Popped into shallow right field. Jack Cavanaugh ranges towards center and makes the catch for out number 1. Nice bounce back for Brendan Lowry. And there's one down in the bottom of the second. Brings up Miguel Useche with the bases empty in a 2-0 contest. Thanks for joining us on your Saturday evening. Miguel Useche is a redshirt freshman from the College of Central Florida. Did a lot of damage against the Rivets last time these 2 squads squared off. First pitch to the righty from the lefty Lowry. A fastball misses up and away, 1-0. Useche belted his first home run of the summer against Rockford in a game that the Rivets would rather forget. Lowry gets the sign from the catcher Stengren, and the 1-0's on the way. Fastball dots the outside corner right on the black. Great pitch. It's 1-1. But Ethan, for the second time this summer, back on August 4th, the Rivets surrendered 22 runs to the Traverse City Pittsburghers at home. 1-1. Misses a little bit low below the knees to Useche. 2-1. That is just so remarkable to me. I can't get over that the Rivets let up 22 runs twice to the same opponent at home. Here's the 2-1. Line drive down the right field line, tailing off a fan's glove in the stands. That was right to him, and he couldn't make the play.
Really tough break out there. The Rivets bullpen seeming to get on him a little there. But you were talking about it, the 22-run thing, it's just like they say history repeats itself, but you really wouldn't expect, especially the exact number, 22, to happen twice in a season against a team you only play 12 times, and you only play 6 times at home.
2-2, breaking ball, check swing. Did he go? He did not, says the first base umpire, Mason Labuda. So the count is run full on the catcher, Useche. But Useche's game really hasn't been the batting average. It's the on-base percentage, and that tends to be the case with many catchers. But 175 batting average and a 358 on-base percentage. Payoff pitch to him, misses low, right on cue. It's a one-out walk for the Traverse City catcher in the bottom of the second inning, with the Spitters leading 2-0. So that brings up Camden Traficante, the switch hitting shortstop. He'll bat from the right side here against Lowry. Freshman from Stetson. Sporting long black socks with white pants with the Traverse City alternate black home uniforms. First pitch on the way. Fastball zips a little bit too far inside, 1-0. Traverse City's uniforms featuring the state of Michigan, which is set up to look like a baseball glove on the left chest with red numbers and red caps. The pause and the 1-0 from Lowry. Swinging a foul back. Traficante was right on it. It's 1-1.
Definitely one of the best logos we see around the whole league, an alternate one for Traverse City there. Everyone loves a bit of state pride, and the Pitt Spitters couldn't have done it any better with the glove holding the cherries and then 2 leaves coming together to form the Upper Peninsula. It's a sharp look.
Lowry's 1-1, misses low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Lowry has tossed 13 pitches this inning and 36 overall. Got to watch that pitch count if you're the Rivets. The Rivets, on the other hand, they're in their traveling road grays with gold lettering, gold numbers, and black caps. They kick in the 2-1. Ground ball down to third base. Bannon Fields throws the second for 1. The relay from Bailata in time. 5-4-3 around the horn. Ends the bottom of the second inning. Brendan Lowry escapes what could have been another jam, and he keeps Traverse City off the scoreboard in the second inning. After 2 full, it's Traverse City 2, Rivets nothing on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Welcome back to Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, Michigan. It's the Traverse City Pittsburghers 2 and the Rockford Rivets nothing. Cade Heil to set the Rivets down in order, and his first 6 batters faced, and he'll face the lower third here, starting with Johannes Hawkinson, his former Traverse City teammate. Hawkinson started the summer up here in Traverse before taking a few weeks off and then coming to Rockford. Righty on righty, and the first pitch from Heil. Foul ball behind home plate. It's 0-1.
Johannes still pretty tight with a lot of these guys on here. I mean, we talked about this over at the hotel. Traverse City's roster, one that's really had very minimal turnovers, so the same guys that were here with Johannes opening day are still here.
A 1 pitch laced into shallow right, and Evan Madej comes on to make the grab, I should say. For out number 1, Heil continues to dominate, 7 up and 7 down. Top of the third inning, 2-zip Traverse City. But it really is remarkable to me, Ethan, because that's one thing about the Northwoods League is there's so much roster turnover, it really doesn't matter where you play. Drew Stengren, a right-handed batter, climbs in. The kick in the first pitch to him from Heil. The fastball misses too far inside, looked like a two-seamer. And it's 1-0 on Stengren, who did not play last night. Heil holds the leather in front of his face, turns and fires. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stengren rests the bat on his shoulder and waits the 1-1 pitch. Fastball misses inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. But I think part of the allure of Traverse City is just the facilities here. And it's a beautiful ballpark, all turf field. You're not going to get hurt. It's always in good condition. And great setup for host families. The 2-1 is chopped foul behind home plate. It's back even at 2 apiece.
And you and I have seen the downtown area here. It's just a great city to be in. Obviously, there aren't too many off days in Traverse City, but plenty of time before home games to go enjoy one of the gems of the north coast of Michigan.
2-2 swung on and missed on a breaking ball outside, and that is out number 2. Strikeout number 3 for Cade Heil. He's picked up 1 in each frame. And now he'll face Jake Bellata, the sophomore from Rockford University, with the bases empty. Traverse City leads 2-0 on the top of the third. But if I was a college baseball player, I mean, this is where I'd want to play during the summer. First pitch to Bellata, a chopped foul ball off the back of Bellata, it looked like. And it's 0-1. And obviously that's a stretch. I'm far from a college baseball player, but I mean, you said it. It's a little bit like the Cape Cod of the Midwest. It's got that feel to it just because it's a vacation destination. The 0-1, another chopper foul behind home plate, quickly 0-2. And I think that's why manager Josh Rebant retains so many of his players throughout the season and from year to year. A lot of this team was here in 2019 when Traverse City won their first title. Swing and a miss on the 0-2 pitch on a breaking ball outside. Cade Heil retires the Rivets in order, his first time through the Rivets order. And after 2.5, it's the Rockford Rivets nothing and the Traverse City Pittsburghers 2. You're listening to the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Headed to the bottom of the third inning in Traverse City, Michigan. It's the Traverse City Pittsbitters leading the Rockford Rivets 2-0, thanks to an RBI double by Mario Camilletti in the first, which was followed by an RBI single by Tito Flores. Brendan Lowry bounced back with a 1-2-3 second inning, inducing an inning-ending double play after a walk. He'll face 9-1-2 in Traverse City's order, starting with Jake Arnold, a power bat out of North Georgia. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter. Lowry from the windup fires the first pitch. Fastball misses down and in, 1 ball, no strikes. In between innings here on this Saturday night in Traverse City, we saw a game-to-game between inning activity, which is pretty unique. The 1-0 fouled straight back, 1-1. In between innings, the players are handed water balloons, both teams, and they chuck them into the stands.
It's quite the sight, and I'm glad that both teams get to have some fun with it. The Rivets players definitely enjoyed that.
The 1-1 is chopped down to third base. Brandon fields on a short hop and tosses across the diamond in time to awaiting Charlie Allison at the first base bag. And that's the first out of the bottom of the third inning. Rivets trail 2-0.
And with the limited roster today for the Rivets, along with the fact that 9 of their players were in the field, only about 4 or 5 guys got to really participate in the water balloon toss. So pretty fun day for Noah DeLuga, Jared Herzog. Joaquin Moncay came running down from the bullpen to participate.
Got to get your hands on some water balloons. First pitch to Zeb Ruse, misses high and inside. Ruse walked his first time and came around to score. The kick in the 1-0, fly ball into center field. Hawkinson back on it, still back, and he makes a running grab over his shoulder for out number 2. Off the bat, that looked like it was hit pretty well. Hawkinson played it casually at first, but kept on moving back to make a nice play.
Looked like it had a little bit of backhand spin on it, kind of turned Johannes Hawkinson over his right shoulder after going back to his right. So well played there by Hawkinson, and well adjusted too.
Traverse City 2, Rockford 0. Bottom of the third inning, bases empty for Mario Camilletti, who had that aforementioned RBI single in the first. Left-handed pitcher, left-handed batter, and the first offering. Misses inside on an off-speed pitch at 71 miles per hour. It's 1-0. But Camilletti's approach at the plate is prototypical of a Central Michigan player. The 1-0, fastball zips down and outside, 2 balls, no strikes. In that he's very selective early in the count, and then more often than not, he works it to a full count. And that's something that we've discussed a little bit throughout the broadcast about the Rivets Central Michigan guys. 2-0 pitch, fastball misses downstairs, 3 balls, no strikes.
It is a unique approach to work from inside out, one that frustrated some Rivets players while watching Jake Donahue, but it worked for him.
3-0, fastball catches the inside corner. 3 balls and 1 strike on Camilletti. Camilletti with a .502 on base percentage, second best in the league. 3-1 pitch, slow chopper down to first base. Charlie Allison gloves it and flips to Lowry, who covers the first base bag. And it's a 1-2-3, bottom of the third inning from the left-hander headed to Eckerd College this fall. After 3 full, it's the Traverse City Pittsbitters 2 and the Rockford Rivets 0 on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. It's the top of the 4th inning at Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, Michigan. The Pittsburghers are ahead of the Rivets 2-0 thanks to 2 first-inning runs. And on the other side of the scorecard, a far cry from that, Cade Heil, the right-hander from North Georgia, has been perfect through 3. They'll square off against the top of the Rivets order here, starting with Connor Goodman. Goodman struck out swinging in the first at-bat of the ball game. Heil kicks and fires the first pitch. Fastball lashed foul. Out of play down the third base side. It's 0-1. Helicopter flies overhead Turtle Creek Stadium off the right field line. Cloudy, overcast day. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss on a slow breaking ball on the artificial turf. Quickly 0-2. Just 8 games remain in the Northwoods League regular season. Traverse City is headed to the playoffs by virtue of winning the first half Great Lakes East title. 0-2 pitch bounces, and Goodman does not chase that bender. It's 1-2. The Rivets, on the other hand, they're out of playoff contention, behind 7 games on the division leader Kokomo, with very few games left. The wind and the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed on a backdoor breaking ball for out number 1 in the top of the 4th. Now 5 strikeouts for Cade Heil.
Cade Heil really dealing right now, has mixed the pitch as well. Really hasn't seen a lot of hard contact from the Rivets hitters. That's something that normally when Rockford gets off to a slow start, you see a lot of well-hit balls. They're just not falling in. They're not stringing together to bring in runs, but Heil has yet to give up a really well-hit ball.
First pitch to Jack Kavanaugh misses down and outside, 1-0. Kavanaugh grounded out to the first baseman, Michael Steigels, back in the first. Here's the 1-0. Misses down and inside. 2 balls and no strikes. If there's anybody who can crack Cade Heil, based on the results we've seen over the last few games, it would be Jack Kavanaugh. 5 for 10 as a Rivet entering tonight. The 2-0 offering catches the bottom outside corner of the zone. Good spot from Heil if he's going to get that call, and it's 2-1. Heil, the long and lanky righty, fires the 2-1. Swinging a high chopper behind the mound. Heil can't make the play. Camilletti, the second baseman, can't either. And the Rivets have their first base runner of the ball game in the top of the 4th on an infield single.
And the Rivets seem to have a knack for those infield singles when the offense isn't really going. It feels like we've seen a lot of those from top to bottom in the lineup, just beating out some hard-hit choppers or just a slow roller down to third. Always seems to come at a good time for the Rockford offense.
Rivets trail Traverse City 2-0, top of the 4th. They've got a runner on first base for the first time tonight for Kevin Bushnell, who's 0 for 1 with a flyout. Right-handed pitcher, right-handed batter. Heil working from the stretch for the first time, delivers the first pitch. And it's another fly ball out to right. Medium depth. Madej continues to move back on it and gloves it as he starts to backpedal in front of the warning track. And that's out number 2. A 1-pitch bounce back for Heil. That was a pretty well-hit ball, but again, the ball just, for whatever reason, does not carry here in Traverse City in a pretty big ballpark. Charlie Allison, a left-handed hitter, steps in now. He grounded out to first his first time. Heil steps off and throws over to first to check on Kavanaugh. He's back safely.
Yeah, nothing really carrying so far tonight. Virtually no wind at all. The flag in center field at a standstill.
Kavanaugh dances around off of first base. First pitch to Allison. Swinging a slow roller foul in front of the Rivets' first base dugout. 0-1. The lights are on at Turtle Creek Stadium, shining down on an all-artificial turf surface. Nice Saturday night crowd. And if we shut our mouths for a few moments, you can hear the hum of the crowd. Heil steps off and fires over to first base, where Kavanaugh dives back in without a tag. Still 0-1 on Allison. Heil sets at the letters, and here's the 0-1. Foul ball off the foot of Allison. He's all right. It barely got a piece of him. Quickly 0-2. But Ethan, that's one thing I missed during, so to speak, COVID times, and I guess you could consider now still COVID times. We're very much in the heart of this pandemic, but with crowds back, you get that roar, you get that buzz again, and it feels nice. 0-2, a slow bouncer back to the pitcher. Heil Fields takes one step and throws to the first baseman Steigels, and that ends the inning. The Rivets get an infield hit from Jack Kavanaugh, but they can't do anything with it. And Cade Heil has faced 1 over the minimum through 4. After 3.5, it's the Traverse City Pittsburghers 2 on the Rockford Rivets, 0. You're listening to the Rivets Baseball Network. Traverse City 2, Rockford 0 in the bottom of the 4th inning in Traverse City. Brendan Lowry bouncing back nicely after allowing 2 runs in the bottom of the 1st inning to these Pittsburghers. An RBI double by Mario Camilletti and an RBI single from Tito Flores are the differences in this one. But we've talked throughout the broadcast about how important it is for Lowry to be extended into this ball game, whether that's the 5th, 6th, or even 7th inning, because the Rivets are so short-handed. In the 1st inning, the Rivets probably felt like they were in some trouble, but now Lowry is settled in.
Definitely a good sight. We've seen a lot of good pitching out of the Rivets recently, with the one exception in the blowout loss to Traverse City, but a number of good 6, 7, 8 inning outings from Rivets pitchers, really keeping them in the ball game when the offense hasn't been super potent. They haven't been dead silent, but a little bit of a middle ground. It's a good sight to see Lowry here, still with that 2-run deficit we saw early.
Lowry will face 3, 4, 5 in the order, starting with Tito Flores, kicking the first pitch to the righty. It bounces on the artificial turf, knocked down by the catcher Stengren with nobody on, 1-0. Flores 1 for 1 with that RBI single in the first frame. Lowry holds the glove out in front of his face, turns and deals the 1-0. Hard hit ground ball down to third base. Bannon fields and throws to Charlie Ellison at first base for a quick out number 1. And we've discussed Brandon Bannon's defense. He's a natural second baseman. He has played almost nothing but third base for the Rivets, and he's done nothing short of spectacular.
I agree. It has been spectacular. He's, like you said, only seen 1 or 2 games at second base. The Rivets have a need at third base, and he's filled it quite nicely, getting a little bit of help here at Traverse City, but even back in Rockford, where the field conditions can be pretty brutal for a new third baseman, he has really done a good job over there.
First pitch, an off-speed offering, catches the outside corner to the lefty Evan Madej. It's 0-1. Madej grounded into a double play his last time. The 0-1 pitch is looped into shallow left, down the line. Bannon running backwards, and he dives and can't make the catch. The left fielder Goodman grabs it and throws to second, not in time. Aggressive base running by Evan Madej pays off, and it's a little bloop double in the bottom of the 4th.
And the Rivets defense really did everything they could there. Donovan Noble really had no chance at that. Connor Goodman was playing too far back. Brandon Bannon gave it his best effort, but sometimes those hits just fall in, and that's how it goes in the sport of baseball.
An all-out effort from Bannon, diving backwards. Could not make the play, and Traverse City already leads 2-0, and now they've got a runner in scoring position with 1 out for Michael Steigels. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter. The first offering from Lowry, but he steps off beforehand. We've been passed along some word that rain is on the way. It's starting to come down a little bit at Turtle Creek Stadium. Now the first pitch to Steigels is on the way. Fly ball into shallow right. Kavanaugh comes in on it and makes the grab for out number 1. Madej fakes a tag to third base. The throw is cut off by the shortstop, Noble. There's 2 down.
Once again, Brendan Lowry doing a really good job of following up these base runners with some quick outs, not allowing him to move up here. So kind of got an unlucky break on that double, but has worked around it and will look to finish a third scoreless frame here.
So Brendan Lowry will try to strand Madej as he faces Trey Younger, who's 0 for 1 with a flyout. The set below the belt. And Lowry steps off again. I think he's a little uncomfortable with Madej on second base. No pickoff throws yet from him, though.
Maybe a bit of a mix-up. I'm not sure if he has great communication with Jake Bellata, a guy that's pretty new, may not know the Rivets' tendencies with a runner on second.
First pitch to Younger, a fastball splits the plate. Taken for a called strike 1. That's one thing with the late stages of the season. You mix in new guys so often. It can be tough sometimes on the communication side. The kick and the 0-1. Pitch misses low. A sliding stop from Drew Stengren to keep Madej at second.
And one thing that the Rivets dealt with in the home series against Traverse City, a lot of sign stealing. The runners at second base, if there was a breaking ball coming, they'd place their hands on their knees. If there was a fastball coming, they'd keep them up around their chest. It was kind of a blatant system, but it did work.
The 1-1, little pop fly into the concourse. That one bounces below the suite level, right to a few fans sitting at a table on the concourse. Looks like a young lady came out with that baseball. She gets a souvenir. And it's 1-2 on Younger. But Younger broke his bat there, so he gets a new piece of lumber. But that type of sign stealing within the rules, that's gamesmanship in my opinion, not exactly cheating. But I don't think anybody in the Northwoods League is taking it to the Astros level, banging on any trash cans or using cameras or anything like that. I suppose you never know. Here's the 1-2 from Lowry. Breaking ball outside. Check swing. Did Younger go? He did not. He held up and is 2-2.
And while we're on the topic of streamlining signs while a runner's on second, have you heard about what they're doing in the California League in minor league baseball?
I have not.
Well, we could probably get to that next inning unless Trey Younger reaches here.
A little bit of a cliffhanger. Brendan Lowry gets the sign. Long pause. Sets below the belt, and now the 2-2. Fastball misses outside. The count is full. I think I do recall hearing something about it with the electronic vibrators in the hats or something of that nature to relay signs rather than...
Yes, yeah. It's a receiver that the catcher wears that has numbers 0 through 9, and they're able to send the signals to their pitchers. It comes in English, Spanish, and Japanese.
Breaking ball misses outside. Drew Stengren thought that was called strike 3. He started moving back towards the dugout. Instead, it's a 2-out walk, and there's runners on first and second with Traverse City leading 2-0 in the bottom of the 4th.
And while that pitch definitely was close, with the way Lowry's arm action brings that breaking ball in, it probably just looped around the side of the plate and missed the strike zone, because the strike zone is three-dimensional. Some people think of it as just a two-dimensional rectangle. It is the shape of home plate extended from knees to chest.
First pitch to Miguel Useche as the runners take off. Throw down to second is not in time. Trey Younger slides right around the tag from Jake Bellotta. He disputes the call with the umpire, Rick Freitas, but no dice. A great slide, Javi Baez-like from Trey Younger.
It was hard to tell from here whether or not Bellotta did make contact with Younger, but either way, a really smart move and a really athletic move to work as much around it as he did.
The pitch missed outside. Now there's runners on second and third. Here's the 1-0 to Useche. Fastball misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes. This could be a turning point in this game, Ethan, if Lowry doesn't get out of this jam. And might break it open a little bit for Traverse City. They have already got a 2-0 lead. Lowry fires the 2-0. Swinging a ground ball to shortstop. Noble gobbles it up and throws in time to first base. And Brendan Lowry strands 2 runners in scoring position to end the 4th inning. After 4 full, it's Traverse City 2 and Rockford nothing on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. It's the 5th inning at Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, Michigan, as rain starts to come down and the Pittsburghers lead the Rivets 5-0 thanks to 2 first-inning runs. Since then, it's been a pitcher's duel pretty much. Cade Heil has been lights out from the start, only allowing 1 base runner. He'll face Brandon Bannon, righty on righty, and the first pitch of the inning. Breaking ball misses low. It's 1-0.
A surprising number of fans came prepared tonight. We see a number of umbrellas up the first base line here.
1-0 pitch misses down and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. I am very impressed whenever I come here to Turtle Creek Stadium with these fans for many reasons. Heil winds and delivers. Line drive into deep left. Younger shades back on it, camps underneath it, and makes the one-handed grab for out number 1. Good contact from Bannon, but no favorable result. And there's 1 down in the top of the 5th. Traverse City leads 2-0. But just based on the amount of Traverse City Pittsburghers gear that is on fans, whether that's hats, jerseys, T-shirts, whatever, there's a lot of fans with Pittsburghers paraphernalia. And then when it rains, almost everybody has an umbrella, it seems. First pitch to the righty, Donovan Noble. A breaking ball catches the outside corner, 0-1.
And you talk about merchandise. Traverse City, as far as I know, is the top-selling merchandise, the top-selling franchise for merchandise in the league.
The 0-1, a breaking ball bounces in the left-handed batter's box, taken for ball 1.
And it doesn't surprise me either. This logo they have here, all the different alterations of it, is one of the most popular logo sets in all of baseball.
The 1-1 fastball misses inside. Noble moves out of the box a little bit, and he's ahead 2 balls and 1 strike. It is a strong brand. You see it a lot on Twitter. People are very impressed by it, discovering it for the first time. They get excited. 2-1, chopped slowly up the third base side. Foul. 2-2. And honestly, I think I'm going to go to the team store tomorrow and pick something up before we head out.
I would say the same, except I cannot afford anything at the team store.
Maybe I'll get you something.
No, I don't need that from you, Larry.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on and foul tipped in and out of the glove of Useche. So we'll have another 2-2. Looked for a moment like Useche was going to hang on to that baseball, but he could not. So Noble has more life. He's 0 for 1 with a swinging strikeout in his first Northwoods League at bat. Another 2-2 pitch. Swinging a hard hit ground ball. Sliding stop by the shortstop Traficante. He gets up and throws, not in time to first base. It's the second hit of the night for Rockford. Second infield hit as Donovan Noble beats it out.
It was a fantastic played ball there from Cam Traficante. Deep in the hole, really made a great throw, but Donovan Noble pretty quick up the line, small, speedy frame. Not surprising to see him beat that one out, but Traficante definitely made it a close one.
Rivets will try to capitalize this time as Johannes Hawkinson steps in. Heil sets at the chest and fires the first pitch to the righty. Swing and a miss and a changeup low of the zone. It's 0-1. Rivets trail the pit spitters 2-0. Hawkinson holds the bat high above his shoulder and awaits the 0-1 pitch. Heil steps off and whips a throw over to first base. Noble is back in there safely.
We saw Hawkinson a couple times yesterday look to bunt for a hit. Maybe thinking some of the same here.
Yeah, Tito Flores is even with the bag at third, and Hawkinson offers at the 0-1. Fouls it off the catcher Useche, so no bunt there. We probably won't see one with 2 strikes, as Hawkinson is down 0-2. Cade Heil looks in for the sign from Useche. He's got it. And he steps off again, and a closer play at first, but Heil balked. So Donovan Noble is going to move into scoring position. The first Rivets runner in scoring position tonight.
I was about to say that was a really strong move from Heil. Thought he may have had a chance at picking off Noble, but I believe he did not come set before making the jump move. You're allowed to not come set if you do a step off, but if you do the jump turn and throw, you do still have to come set as if you're delivering a pitch to the home plate.
Heil looking to bounce back here, still ahead 0-2, and the pitch is popped into shallow right. Madej moves back and now settles under it and makes the grab. Noble just fakes towards third base, and the throw to third is cut off, and now there's 2 down. Noble still on the second base bag. Rivets trail by 2 in the top of the 5th. So here's Drew Stengren with a chance to come through for just his 4th RBI this summer. He's been with the team for well over 2 months. Rivets could sure use a run back here. Heil deals the first pitch to the Rivets catcher. Misses low, 1-0.
Drew, a guy that has had a lot of impact on the game, but like you said, the RBIs just aren't there. He's a guy that in a lot of key situations, he draws walks, and unless the bases are loaded, it's pretty hard to drive in runs on walks.
Heil sets above the belt. Takes a long pause and comes home with a 1-0. Pitch is popped out of play. Off the right side into the parking lot. That's 1-1. But you mentioned Stengren's walks. Although the hits have come and gone, he's riding a 9-game on-base streak, predominantly because of those free passes. The 1-1 from Cade Heil. Swinging a ground ball into right field. We'll see if Noble gets the wave around, and he does. The throw to the plate from Madej is in time to get him. Evan Madej fires a strike from right field, and a great tag for Miguel Useche on the left arm of Donovan Noble, just in the nick of time. Ends the top of the 5th inning. The Rivets try some aggressive base running to get on the board, and no dice. After 4.5, it's still Traverse City 2, Rivets nothing on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. It's the bottom of the 5th inning, and Traverse City with the Pitts Bitters out in front of the Rockford Rivets 2-0 thanks to 2 first-inning runs. And it's largely been a pitcher's duel, Ethan Blake, and I didn't think we'd be saying that here in the 5th inning after Brendan Lowry surrendered those 2 runs in the first.
Definitely not, but like I said, back in the first inning, that double play ball was a bit of a reset, emptied the bases, gave Brendan Lowry a clean slate to work with.
He fires the first pitch to Camden Traficante, and he swings and misses. The ball gets a piece of the catcher, Drew Stengren. It's 0-1. The Rivets have just 4 arms out of the bullpen tonight. The kick in the 0-1. Slow breaking ball misses low, 1 ball, 1 strike. And that problem's not really unique to the Rivets. With 8 games left in the Northwoods League season, a lot of teams are a little short-handed. Lowry's wind and 0-1. 1-1, I should say, catches the outside corner. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And going back to their first trip here, the Rivets only had 2 arms out of the bullpen, Bruce Wagner and Chan Yao Ming. Saw a couple position players pick up some innings in that opening week series.
1-2, a slow breaking ball misses outside. 2-2. And this series for Rockford gives me very much flashbacks of that first week of the season, which isn't good for Rockford. They allowed 10 runs in both those games. 2-2, pitch misses upstairs, and it's full. But the Rivets, of course, eventually built up their roster a few weeks into the season, then got some pretty solid arms, but pitching really has been the problem for them all season long. Here's the payoff to Traficante, fouled off down the right side, out of play. We'll do it again. Lowry trying to continue a strong stretch for Rivet starting pitchers. Rockford starters have gone at least 6 innings in 4 of the last 5 games. Here's another 3-2 called, strike 3 on a breaking ball on the high outside corner. And that's out number 1 in the bottom of the 5th.
On the topic of starters, though, a huge blow for the Rivets was in the past 2 days, they lost both of their starters for this weekend. Shamar Page lined up to start today, was injured in the game at Lakeshore on Thursday while batting. And then Ben Vitus yesterday experiencing some soreness in his arm and is unable to go tomorrow, will be replaced by Jared Herzog.
First pitch cut on and missed by Jake Arnold. It's 0-1. Arnold 0-for-1 with a ground out down to third base. Back in the third inning. That K from Lowry is first of the night. The kick and the 0-1. Breaking ball catches the outside corner, and Lowry is really dialed in. 70 pitches into his outing. It's 0-2 on Arnold. But that's kind of the nature of the beast in a 72-game summer league season. The 0-2 sails too far outside, 1-2. You're going to lose players throughout the season, whether you expected it or not. Some guys just get up and leave in the middle of the season. The Rivets have had that. We won't name names or anything, but you never know. It's unexpected. The 1-2 swung on and missed on a bender in the dirt. Drew Stengren picks it up and chucks down to first base to retire Jake Arnold. Back-to-back Ks for Brendan Lowry as the Rivets trail 2-0 in the bottom of the fifth.
That was probably the nastiest pitch of the night from Brendan Lowry, a little back foot slider to the righty. Made him look foolish on that. Back-to-back strikeouts looks pretty good for a guy that doesn't really build his game around that.
Zeb Ruse climbs in the box with the bases empty as the fans clap him up there. First pitch, misses high and outside, 1-0. Ruse walked and scored back in the first inning, then flied out to center his last time in the third. The crowd engagement here really, I get a kick out of that. 1-0, misses down and outside, 2 balls, no strikes. But how often do you see that in the Northwoods League, even in places that draw where fans, clap up or clap along to a hitter's walk-up song? It's the only time I've really seen that this season. 2-0 pitch, popped foul over our heads and out of the stadium. That was right on line with our booth. Got to be ready up here. I think we could get a foul ball. It hasn't happened yet, though. 2 balls and 1 strike on Ruse.
And going back to the fans, there are a lot of diehard fans here in Traverse City, people coming up here for the summer. They're expecting some good baseball.
2-1 pitch is blooped near the Rivets bullpen down the line, and Jack Kavanaugh slides well short as the ball bounces into the Rivets pen. So the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And a good sight over in the Rivets pen is the lack of action. We talked before the game. The key for this game was Brendan Lowry going 5-6 innings to kind of keep the workload down for a shorthanded bullpen.
He's gone 4 2/3. Here's his 2-2 offering. Breaking ball misses outside. Lowry trying to go back to that same corner that he's had some success with. The count is full on the leadoff man, Ruse. Lowry gets the sign. Here's his payoff pitch. Misses high and outside, and Ruse is aboard for the second time tonight. This time a 2-out walk in the bottom of the fifth with Traverse City leading 2-0.
And if there was a time to walk someone, it is with 2 outs. That's something that for Brendan Lowry could be viewed as a victory, to get those first 2 outs before issuing a walk. Early in the game, we saw it bite him when he was issuing walks with no outs.
Oh, that's Lowry's just his 4th walk of the outing. Not too bad compared to some outings we've seen from Rivet starters. Mario Camilletti climbs in. The first pitch to the left-handed batter as the runner goes. It's in there for a called strike. The throw down past the shortstop, Donovan Noble. He got a little bit of glove on it, so it doesn't go into center field. But now there's a runner in scoring position for Camilletti, who had an RBI double in the first.
And going back to Lowry and the walks, it's very common for guys with sidearm and low 3/4 deliveries to have a lot of trouble with location. They are very deceptive and very effective in drawing weak contact, but they often beat themselves with the walks when they struggle to time that release point up.
The 0-1 misses down and outside. Lowry held on to that pitch a little bit too long. 1 ball and 1 strike. Might be distracted a little bit by Ruse, who was jumping back and forth at second base. I think the pitch hitters saw that Lowry was really distracted by Evan Madej on second base last inning. Lowry gets the sign. Here's the 1-1 offering. Swinging a chopper foul behind home plate. 1-2.
And the hope here is that Drew Stengren knows better than anyone else how to effectively pitch to Mario Camilletti. These guys, as much as they're friends and they respect each other as ball players, they know what it takes to beat each other.
He spends so much time together as college teammates. Both Camilletti and Stengren play for the Central Michigan Chippewas. Lowry sets below the belt. Watches Ruse dance around at second and delivers the 1-2 pitch. It misses well outside. Lowry went back to the breaking ball, and you can tell he's a little frustrated. That body language becoming a little exasperated. And a 2-2 count to Camilletti. Camilletti reaches a full count almost every time he's at the plate. That's not really an exaggeration. He does not swing much early in the count. He really works pitchers. Lowry at 21 tosses in the frame. Here's his 22nd on the 2-2. Time is called. Lowry got distracted by the runner Ruse again, and Camilletti called time.
I wasn't sure if that timeout came from Camilletti or Stengren, but not surprising to see it from either of them. Those long pauses can often set you off out of your rhythm.
So Lowry will look for the sign. He gets it again. And now the 2-2 pitch. Fouled off. We'll do it again. Hard hit foul ball over the screen to the left side. Good fastball inside the zone from Lowry, but he's going to have to battle. Camilletti taps his cleats, a habit that many ball players have, even on artificial turf fields, when no dirt sticks to the shoes. He settles into an open batting stance and awaits another 2-2 pitch. Little jam shot flare, foul ball that bounces on the turf warning track. Aside third base. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. And if Camilletti reaches here, Lowry might be in the danger zone. He's up to 23 pitches in this inning. And we know that each and every Traverse City batter can work long at bats. Lowry holds the baseball behind his back, nods at Stengren, and fires another 2-2. Swinging at another foul ball into the seats off to the left side and out of play.
And we saw these foul balls. They ailed Noah DeLuga in a start against Kalamazoo. An inning where he only gave up 1 run, did not walk anyone, and had to come out due to 35 pitches because we saw 20 or 25 foul balls. We're not at that point yet, but those foul balls can be a killer with the way the Northwoods League regulates pitch counts.
Brendan Lowry trying to get out of the inning once more. Another 2-2 called. Strike 3. A breaking ball on the outside corner upsets Mario Camilletti. And the Rivets rejoice as Brendan Lowry stays below that single inning pitch limit once again and strikes out 3 in the bottom of the 5th. The score holds Traverse City 2, Rockford Rivets nothing on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. It's the 6th inning in Traverse City. 2-0 Pittsburghers over the Rockford Rivets. Cade Heil, the starter for Traverse City, still out there, and he'll work against 9-1-2 in the Rivets order to start the 6th inning. First pitch to Jake Bellotta, a chopper foul down the third base line. In case you're just joining us, the Rivets led up 2 first-inning runs to Traverse City, both charged to Brendan Lowry, who's still on the ball game, or in the ball game on the other side of things. A welcome sight for Rockford. The wind in the 0-1, a foul ball off the end of the bat from Bellotta, back to the screen. And it's 0-2.
Jake Bellotta trying to build off a really solid game yesterday. Picked up all 3 of his hits this year for the Rivets in just his 3rd game. A guy that hit very well at Rockford 2 years ago, Rockford University, that is.
Cade Heil's 0-2, a swing and another foul ball up the third base side. We'll do it again. Well, Bellotta was talking about his performance yesterday during batting practice today, and he said that Rivets manager JT Scarra came up to him before the game and said, "Hey Jake, how about you pick up a few hits today?" And he did. The 0-2, a breaking ball, bounces on the artificial turf for ball 1. And sometimes that's all it takes, maybe a little encouragement. And of course, JT was being a little sarcastic, as in, hey, how about you get the bat going for once? 1-2, misses down and outside. Bellotta being patient with 2 strikes. It's 2-2.
Bellotta's a guy that can take a joke there. He knows what he's capable of. JT knows what he's capable of. I'm glad it all came together last night.
A 2-2, a called strike 3 on a fastball on the lower part of the zone. And that is out number 1. In the top of the 6th inning, Cade Heil continues to cruise right along. 6 strikeouts for the righty from North Georgia. So that brings up the leadoff man in the Rivets order, Connor Goodman. Rockford trailing 2-0. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter, and Goodman lashes one into left field, and a diving play is made by Trey Younger. Goodman tattooed that ball, but Younger was playing relatively shallow, and he came on and made a nice play for out number 2.
Tough sight there for the Rivets and Goodman. That ball, had it gotten past Younger, could have been at least a triple, maybe even all 4 for Connor Goodman. That had some tail on it. Really made for a tough play by Younger. A great read, though.
So here's Jack Cavanaugh with the bases empty and 2 down in the 6th. He offers at the first pitch and pops this one on top of the roof of some suites. Off the first base side, it rolls off the roof, and a gaggle of young children can't make the catch. Some young fans diving on the concrete for it. Here's the 0-1, a foul ball that's a little less eventful, right off the end of the bat from Cavanaugh back to the barrier. And it's 0-2. The Rivets have just 3 hits this game off of Cade Heil, and 2 of them are infield singles. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Misses just inside. Heil wanted the call. He jumped around a little bit in front of the mound, thinking that was going to be a called strike 3. It wasn't, and it's 1-2. Heil working from the left side of the rubber. Here's his 1-2 offering. A swing and a chopper down to shortstop. Traficante charges and throws in time just above the turf to the first baseman Steigels. And it's a 1-2-3, top of the 6th inning for the Rockford Rivets. A pitcher's duel continues in Traverse City. It's still 2-0 Pittsburghers on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. It's the bottom of the 6th inning at Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, Michigan. Pitchers duel. Brendan Lowry dueling with Cade Heil. Lowry allowed 2 first-inning runs, and since he's been real good, and he fires the first pitch to the third batter, Tito Flores, and he takes a fastball high. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Flores had one of those 2 runs driven in back in the first.
This will be a true test of Brendan Lowry under pressure, seeing 3-4-5 in the Pittsburgh's order.
Is 1-0. Tails too far inside to the righty Flores. 2 balls and no strikes. It's 8 games left in the Northwoods League season. The Rivets are out of playoff contention. Traverse City is headed to the playoffs. Likely to face the Kokomo Jackrabbits, who are in position to win the second half. 2-0 is flied into deep left field, hooking towards the line. The left fielder, Connor Goodman, reaches over the Traverse City bullpen. Did he make the catch? He did not. He was running towards the barrier against Traverse City's left field bullpen, reached over the wall, looked like he got a glove on it, but he couldn't hang on after a jolt against the padding.
Very long run for Connor Goodman there. That ball was hit unreally high. I mean, that was, I didn't even know how to describe it.
Searching for words.
Yes.
Light tower fly ball, perhaps. So it's 2-1 on Flores. We mentioned he had that RBI single in the first. He grounded out his last time. Here's the 2-1. Misses inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. If you're Brendan Lowry, the number 1 thing you don't want to do in this inning is put the leadoff man on. Evan Madej, the cleanup batter, waits on deck. He's 1 for 2 with a double. 3-1 offering. Misses high and outside, and it's a leadoff free pass to Tito Flores in the bottom of the 6th inning with Traverse City ahead 2-zip.
And we'll see what the leash is for Brendan Lowry here. Doesn't appear to be a mound visit in order, but you never know how long JT Scara and Doug Coe will let their starter run into a game.
Well, Lowry is at 91 pitches now, so this is likely going to be his last inning of work, and I'm sure Scara would love for Lowry to get out of this inning. First pitch to the lefty, Madej. Breaking ball dots the outside corner, taken for a called strike 1. Madej doubled his last time in the 4th inning, but was left stranded on third base. Lowry nods at the catcher, Stengern, sets below the belt, and fires the 0-1. Breaking ball tails too far outside, and now Drew Stengern calls time, and we'll walk on out to the mound to talk things over with Lowry. And even from here, we can see Lowry's got a smirk on his face. He's a guy that's seemingly never serious.
Yeah, and I've seen him in situations like this. I've even heard him go out to the mound and say, "Hey, JT, how long's the leash?" A question that almost no pitchers would ever ask their manager.
Well, Lowry likes to have a good time. I would probably say he's the funniest Rivet on this roster right now, and maybe all season long. Here's the 1-1 to Madej as Stengern is back behind the plate, swinging a slow roller down to third. Lowry cuts it off and throws to first. Not in time. It's a swinging bunt from Evan Madej. Tito Flores moves up to second base, and there are 2 on with no out to start the bottom of the 6th.
Lucky break there for Evan Madej. I mean, Brendan Lowry played that ball as well as you could as a lefty pitcher, but Madej got up the line fast and just happened to place that ball exactly where it needed to be.
Traverse City trying to get on the scoreboard for the first time since the 1st inning. They lead 2-0 as Michael Steigels, the 5th batter in the lineup, steps in the right-handed batter's box. He's flown out to right field twice. First pitch. Fastball misses low, 1-0.
Eli Sanchez out in the Rivets bullpen getting hot. A guy that is capable of finishing this game should he come in within the next few batters.
Lowry trying not to get into that situation. His 1-0 delivery. It's called strike 1 on a fastball on the inside corner. It's back even at 1 apiece. Flores with good speed on second base. Madej pretty quick as well off of first, neither being held on. Lowry deals. Pitch misses high and outside. Stengren kind of stumbling out of his crouch to get a glove on it. And Lowry's behind 2-1. And now at this point, it really would not surprise me to see Elijah Sanchez in this ball game after a batter or two. We'll see if Lowry can change this inning. It is 2-1. Fastball misses high. Right around letter height to Steigels, and it's 3-1. The number one thing on Lowry's wish list right now is probably a double play. Needs to keep the ball low in the zone. He kicks and fires, and he misses high and inside, and it's a walk to load the bases with no outs in the bottom of the sixth. And here comes Rivets manager JT Scarra, and he immediately points to the right field bullpen to bring in Elijah Sanchez. So after Brendan Lowry goes 5 full, only allows 2 earned runs, he leaves the game in a sticky situation. Elijah Sanchez will try to get the Rivets out of it. After this, Pittsburghers lead 2-0 on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. It's 2-0 Traverse City over the Rockford Rivets in the bottom of the sixth inning in a bases-loaded jam. Brendan Lowry exits the ball game, and JT Scarra hands the baseball to Elijah Sanchez, the righty out of NIU.
Eli Sanchez, a guy that's been here almost since opening day, already has seen 15 appearances out of the bullpen, a respectable 4.09 ERA. That's 22 innings pitched, 10 earned runs. Not a big strikeout guy, only 12 on the year. Has 16 walks, so a guy that's pretty much middle of the pack when it comes to this Rivets bullpen.
His first pitch to Trey Younger misses down and inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Tito Flores stands on third base. He started the inning with a walk. Evan Madej followed with an infield single. He's on second. And then Steigels walked in Lowry's final batter. He's responsible for all the ducks on the pond. Here's the 1-0. Misses down and outside. 2 balls and no strikes, and Sanchez isn't in a good spot here. This Turtle Creek Stadium crowd ready to get fired up. Traverse City scoring the only runs of the ball game back in the first. Sanchez sets at the letters and delivers. Swing and a miss on a fastball on the outside corner, 2-1.
Younger looked like he was trying to triple the lead there, get a grand slam. That was a huge hack, one of the biggest ones we've seen today.
Younger has 1 home run this summer, along with 26 runs batted in. He walked his last time in the 4th. Sanchez 2-1. Swinging a little dribbler down to third base. Bannon gloves it and throws to first for the sure out. And he gets Younger, but Tito Flores scores from third base, and Traverse City scores their first run since the 1st. It's now 3-0 Pittsbitters in the bottom of the 6th. Everybody moves up 90 feet ahead of Miguel Useche. And a pretty good play from Bannon there. He looked at home plate, tried to survey whether or not he had a chance, and decided against it. Now the Rivets infield will come in against Useche, who's 0 for 1 with a ground out and a walk. Righty on righty. Sanchez kicks and deals. Useche squares to bunt. It was a squeeze play, and the umpires signal that Useche bunted the baseball, but it bounces off the chest protector of Stengren as Useche bunted through it, and now the umpires get the call right. Useche will be brought back to the plate, and now Traverse City showed its hand.
Definitely a tough break for them. Like you said, kind of revealing the strategy here. Eli Sanchez, a guy that's really athletic off the mound, he can definitely make a play if they slip up, trying to do a squeeze bunt again. Brandon Bannon also quick, coming in from third base. Definitely puts the Pittsbitters at an advantage. I did like the call, though. Useche, not a guy that you'd really expect to bunt. Definitely caught us off guard, and probably the players as well.
So it's an 0-1 count on the Traverse City catcher. We'll see if we see a squeeze play again. Probably not. Madej off of third base, and the first pitch, the next pitch I should say, is flied into shallow right. Long run for Jack Cavanaugh at the line. He makes a basket catch. Here comes Madej. The throw to the plate is well offline. It's a sacrifice fly for Useche for out number 2 of the bottom of the 6th. Traverse City doubles its lead now here in the frame. It's 4-zip.
I think that's a sacrifice the Rivets want to make there. Obviously, if Cavanaugh had not caught that ball, it would have been a foul ball, but to be able to take that out, maybe have the chance of the double play. They didn't ultimately convert it, but to have the chance of the double play there is probably best case scenario for Rockford, especially with the bottom third of the order coming up for Traverse City.
On the play, Michael Steigels moves to third base as well. So here's Camden Traficante, 0 for 2. First pitch to the lefty, breaking ball in there for a called strike. Low in the zone. It's 0-1. Traficante batting from the left side for the first time tonight after facing Lowry, a left-hander, the first 2 times. The 0-1, a fastball misses low, 1 ball, 1 strike. If I'm not mistaken, I heard some sort of whistle in between pitches.
I heard it as well. I'm not sure if it was part of a sound effect or actually a fan in the ballpark.
Here's the 1-1, breaking ball misses inside, and Stengren knocks down the baseball partially with his bare hand. A good play by him there to keep the runner Steigels at third base. It's 2-1 on Traficante. Rivets offense struggling against Traverse City starter Cade Heil. Rockford will send up 3-4-5, and the 2-1 is swung on and foul tipped. And Traficante let go of his bat. And we got a piece of home plate umpire Leo Cintron. He looks to be all right. It's good news. And it's 2-2.
Crazy play there. Objects flying everywhere, the ball, the bat. We've seen a lot of players struggle to grip the bat this year. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Plenty of options in every team's dugout. It's been an odd summer when it comes to bats, to say the least.
Lots of bats broken. So many bats let go of. Not just by the Rivets, but by everybody. The set and the 2-2 from Sanchez. Flied foul down the right field line, out of play. So we'll do it again. With a base knock here, Traficante could pick up his 27th RBI of the summer. The sun's starting to set in northwestern Michigan. We can't really tell, though. It's a gray, overcast sky. There was some rain earlier, but it's now departed. Another 2-2 from Sanchez. Swinging a line drive into center field, and that's an RBI single from Camden Traficante as Michael Steigel scores from third base. And it's 5-0 Traverse City in the bottom of the sixth. All 3 runs in the frame charged to Brendan Lowry. So his final line now is 5 earned runs on 4 hits allowed. That really doesn't do his outing justice. He looked pretty sharp until the wheels came off the wagon here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Traficante on first for Jake Arnold, the DH. He's 0 for 2. First pitch. Fastball misses inside. It's 1-0. Sanchez rocking the black and gold stirrups, as he always does with both the Rivets home and road unis. He steps off and tosses lightly over to first base to check on Traficante. Traficante pretty quick. He's stolen 9 bases this summer. He's got a 3-step lead. Sanchez sets and throws. Pitch misses low, 2-0. Despite the rain, a beautiful night for baseball. It's fireworks night at Turtle Creek Stadium on this Saturday night. And the crowd has come out accordingly. 2-0 pitch. Misses outside. That one looked at the appropriate height, but Sanchez can't find the zone, and he's well behind 3 balls and no strikes.
Sanchez, a guy that the Rivets were probably expecting to be able to go into the 7th or 8th. Maybe not as likely now.
3-0 in there for a called strike. Fastball splits the plate, 3-1. Sanchez has tossed 16 pitches here, recording 2 outs, but of course allowing those inherited runners to score. He gives a brief look at Traficante on first, sets and delivers the 3-1 pitch. It's popped up down the first base side, and that one is a souvenir into the stands, and it bounces directly into the glove of a young fan waiting on the concourse.
Really good comeback here from Sanchez. I was just talking how the Rivets were probably planning on pitching him for an inning or 2 more.
Here's his payoff to Arnold. Swinging a liner right at the shortstop, Donovan Noble, and he gloves it to end the inning. But it's a tumultuous bottom half of the 6th for the Rockford Rivets. Brendan Lowry loads the bases, exits the ball game, and Sanchez allows all those runs to score. So at the end of 6, it's Traverse City 5, Rivets nothing on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network.
Welcome back to Northern Michigan, where the Rockford Rivets currently trail the Traverse City Pittsbitters by a score of 5-0. Pittsbitters starter Cade Heil will return to the mound for his 7th inning of work. He'll face 3-4-5 in the Rivets order. That's Kevin Bushnell, Charlie Allison, and Brandon Bannon. Heil sitting on a night where he's only given up 3 hits, 2 of them infield singles. The first pitch to Bushnell. Ball misses outside. Heil sets the 1-0 to Bushnell. Bounces in the dirt. Bushnell up 2-0 early. Rivets have had very little success against Heil, not able to draw many walks. The aforementioned 2 infield singles, just 1 base hit reaching the outfield. The 2-0 is fouled off to the backstop by Bushnell. Kevin Bushnell currently sitting on 2 flyouts, both to right field. Big swing by Bushnell in the 2-1. On a changeup inside. Count evens at 2-2. The 2-2 from Heil. Swung on and missed again. Cade Heil picks up his 7th strikeout of the night on a nasty breaker to Kevin Bushnell. That'll bring up Charlie Allison, stepping to the plate from the left side. Allison also 0 for 2 today. Couple weak groundouts to the right side. Has really struggled in his first week as a Rockford Rivet. Takes the first pitch on the outside edge. That'll be ball 1. The 1-0 from Heil taken on the inside edge. Ball 2. Allison with the wide stance holds the bat high over his head. Here comes the 2-0. Another miss inside. Charlie Allison way ahead at 3 balls, no strikes. Allison with a .240 on base percentage, looks at the 3-0. Swung on and fouled off. The windup from Heil, the 3-1. Taken on the outside black, and the count is full. Charlie Allison, a guy that's really struggled in full counts. A free swinger, as you may have noticed from the 3-0 swing, and here comes the put away. Driven high and deep into right field. Madej going back, he'll settle under it. And that's out number 2 for Cade Heil and the Traverse City Pittsburghers. Brandon Bannon next into the box for Rockford. Sitting on an 0-2 day of his own. A ground out and a fly out. Just another example of Cade Heil's dominance thus far. Really has not seen many balls hit hard. That one from Charlie Allison, the first we've seen in a few innings. First pitch is fastball taken inside for ball 1. Heil really struggling with early command here, but 2 up, 2 down so far in the 7th. And the 1-0, another fastball. This one taken for a strike again on the inner half of the plate. Brandon Bannon stands in for the 1-1. It's a breaking ball, misses low and outside. It's 2-1. The 2-1 from Heil. Another fastball, this one on the outer edge, evens the count at 2-2. Brandon Bannon, not a guy that goes down easy, makes a lot of contact. Only 9 strikeouts on the year, has been with the team for about 2.5 weeks. The 2-2, bounced in the dirt about 58 feet, and Bannon works himself into a full count. payoff pitch. Popped foul up the first base line. Fantastic play by a young fan on the concourse. Read that ball perfectly off the bat, was able to make the snag. The 3-2 once again to Bannon. This one will miss low and away, and Brandon Bannon has a 2-out walk. That brings up Donovan Noble, the newest member of the Rivets, picked up his first career hit in his last at-bat. Hard ground ball in the hole to Cam Traficante, and Noble beat it out for an infield single. Heil from the stretch. Fastballs bounce down the line, foul, third baseline. And it's 0-1 to Noble. Brandon Bannon on first. Only one stolen base on the year. The 0-1 to Noble is grounded up the middle. Fielded by Traficante on a dive, but no play to be made, and the Rivets have runners on first and second with 2 outs to Johannes Hawkinson. The Rivets center fielder, very familiar with Turtle Creek Stadium. Opened the year with Traverse City, played about 2 weeks with them. About a month into his Rockford Rivets career. Hawkinson also 0 for 2 on the day, 2 flyouts of his own. First pitch is taken for a strike. And this is by far the biggest opportunity the Rivets have seen today. 2 runners on, albeit with 2 outs. The 0-1 to Hawkinson. A breaking ball is driven down the line and bounces foul over in right field. And it's quickly 0-2. Hawkinson, another guy that can work himself back in at-bats. Just because he goes down early does not mean he'll go down quickly. Heil comes set. The pitch, fastball grounded. Traficante at short. Over to Camilletti at second. And the Rivets once again leave a runner stranded. Going into the bottom of the 7th, it's Traverse City 5, Rockford 0 on the Rockford Rivets Radio Network.
Welcome back to Traverse City, Michigan. It's the Rockford Rivets trailing the Traverse City Pittsbitters 5-0. The 7th inning stretch has been sung. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. Elijah Sanchez out for his 2nd inning of relief work. We'll face the top of the order, starting with the unmistakable Tito Ruse as he gets clapped up to the plate. First pitch, righty on righty, misses low and away, 1-0. Ruse walked twice and has flied out once in his 3 plate appearances tonight. The 0-1 is poked foul out of play. Ethan, what's so funny, man?
There's no Tito Ruse on the pit spinners.
Tito Ruse. Oh, man. You know, I take a half inning off and everything goes down the drain. It is Zeb Ruse. Certainly you can mistake Zeb Ruse for Tito Flores, I guess. And the 1-1 misses inside, 2 balls and a strike. You know, it's game number 65 of 72. Mistakes are bound to happen, folks.
It's really only game 10 for me.
Sanchez winds and fires the 2-1, foul straight back, and it's 2-2. Let me tell you, having somebody else in the booth sure makes things more interesting. And you can catch mistakes like that because I was just going to keep on talking. I didn't notice that I said Tito Ruse.
Be quite the name, too. I mean, Zeb in itself is already a pretty unique name, but to combine the last name Ruse with Tito would be something.
No kidding. Here's the 2-2. It's popped foul off to our right, and it bounces on the sweet roof. Fans are waiting for it to come down, and it falls right into the hands of a fan. We saw last inning a fan with a glove make a nice play on the concourse. Fans are aware of balls rolling right off the roof. Here's another 2-2 from Sanchez. Breaking ball that misses low. Ruse thought about going around, but instead the count is full.
And I'd say that roof, a pretty nice feature compared to the flat roof at Rivet Stadium. Our cameraman, TJ, often gets a lot of company up there from some foul balls.
3-2 pitch, misses high and tight, so it's a leadoff walk to Zeb Ruse. Apologies to Zeb and any of his family who may be listening. I doubt it. But 3 walks for Ruse tonight, and now Mario Camilletti, the king of walks, steps to the plate with a runner on first base. No outs. Bottom of the 7th inning, Traverse City leads 5-0. Camilletti had an RBI single back in the 1st inning. Overall, he's 1 for 3. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter. Sanchez sets at the letters and delivers the first pitch. Swung on and popped up. Down the left field line, Connor Goodman ranges into foul territory and watches it bounce in the Traverse City bullpen for strike 1. In case you're just joining us, the Rivets allowed 2 first-inning runs and then 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. All charged to Brendan Lowry, who went 5+ innings, surrendered 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 6 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Sanchez steps off and fires over to first base to check on Ruse. He's back with a dive. Still 0-1 on Camilletti. Nobody warming in the Rivets bullpen. Sanchez tosses the 0-1 as the runner goes. It's in there for a called strike. The throw down is not in time. It bounces away from the shortstop Noble into shallow right. Ruse stays put, and there's a runner in scoring position for Camilletti. But the Rivets really, to a large extent, got what they needed out of Lowry tonight. They only brought 4 available bullpen arms on this trip, and he got the Rivets into the 6th inning. It looked like he was cruising along until he ran into some trouble and loaded the bases in the 6th. Here's the 0-2 to Camilletti. Fouled off, we'll do it again.
Yeah, and Brendan Lowry definitely gave the Rivets what they needed. As you said, we kind of set our deadline up here for him as the 5th inning and the 6th if he was really moving. He did come out for the 6th. Unfortunately, it didn't go exactly how he would have wanted, but overall, saved arms at the least to be better prepared for tomorrow.
Here's another 0-2 to Camilletti. Breaking ball misses low. Camilletti thought about going around, but he laid off. He doesn't chase much. And it's 1-2. Lights starting to take full effect at Turtle Creek Stadium. It's 9:05 in the Eastern Time Zone. 8:05 back home in Illinois. Thanks for joining us on your Saturday night. as I assume well over 1,000 have here in Turtle Creek Stadium. The 1-2 is grounded to second base. Sliding stop by Latta. He gets up and fires in time to first base. It's a 4-3 putout. A gem of a play by Jake Bellotta. And that's out number 1. But on the play, Ruse moves to third base, so another run is 90 feet away. Traverse City already leads 5-zip, bottom 7.
That's an effective at-bat there for Mario Camilletti. Like we said, a guy that seems to always have an effective at-bat. Even there, that'll go down as an 0 for 1 in the scorebook, but could ultimately help to bring in a run. And this is a guy who doesn't get a lot of 0 for 1s in the scorebook.
So here is Tito Flores. Kicking the first pitch to the righty. Fastball in there for a called strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Tito Flores of no relation to Zeb Ruse. Despite what my words might tell you earlier in the inning. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball misses on the turf, knocked down by Stengren up the third base line. Good play by the Rivets catcher to keep the runner Ruse at third base.
Drew a really good blocker. He jumps on those very well, is able to keep him in front. That one worked out even better going up the third base line. That'll definitely keep the runner in check.
Sanchez lets the right arm hang, getting the sign from Stengren. Now he's got it. Rivets infield is in. Here comes the 1-1. Pitch misses high and tight, and it got a piece of Flores. So he flips his bat back to the Traverse City third base dugout, and he gets a free, albeit painful, trip down to first base. Runners on the corners with 1 out now for the cleanup batter, Evan Bidet. Traverse City 5, Rivets nothing, bottom of the 7th. Bidet has reached twice tonight, a double and a single, in addition to a 4-6-3 double play back in the first inning. Rivets could sure use one of those here.
It'll be interesting to see if the pit spitters and Flores try to take that away, or maybe run a bit of a trick play to score Ruse.
First pitch is fouled off to the left side of the stadium, out of play, 0-1. That's one thing that Traverse City does so well. You look at their offensive numbers; they're middle of the pack in terms of batting average and slugging, but their on-base percentage is really good. They run the bases really well, and they pitch really well. There goes the runner, swinging a little blooper to shortstop, and a diving catch is made by Donovan Noble. Throw over to first base, not in time. Here comes the runner from third, Ruse, and he slides in safely. Lots going on that play. Donovan Noble robs Evan Bidet of a base hit. He tries to double off Tito Flores at first base. The throw was offline, and as a result, Zeb Ruse scored from third, and it's 6-0.
Really tough play there for Noble after an amazing play. Kind of was still getting up when he threw that ball. Noble, a guy that has a slightly below average arm for a shortstop, couldn't make that throw in the air, and then Charlie Allison gets pulled up the line and has to make the throw going the other direction to try and nab Ruse at home.
First pitch to Steigels, misses inside. The runner goes. The throw down, not in time. Flores swipes second base, and just like that, another runner in scoring position for Traverse City. And right on cue, they're running all over the Rivets on the base paths. And Stengren, a guy usually with a pretty good arm, but Traverse City has gotten some great jumps. And it helps that they're on their home field. Here's the 1-0 from Sanchez. Breaking ball bounces, knocked down by Drew behind the plate. 2 balls, no strikes. It'll be interesting to see if Cade Heil comes back out for the top of the 8th inning for Traverse City. I don't think he will, as there's an arm warming up in the Pit Spitters bullpen.
Only sitting at 85, though. It is within the realm of possibility.
The 2-0 misses high and tight from Sanchez, 3-0. And you're darned if you do and you're darned if you don't, right? If you're manager Josh Reband for Traverse City, if you pull him, then the bullpen struggles. Well, you pulled him too early. And then if you keep him in and he walks a few guys and maybe he gets into a jam, then you kept him in too late. Long pause from Sanchez, and he tosses the 3-0. Breaking ball, called strike on the outside corner, 3-1. And we saw on Thursday night in Lakeshore, Travis Aker, the manager for the Chinooks, pull his starter, Tommy Lamb, way too early. He'd only thrown 70 pitches. He went to the bullpen for the 7th, and they unraveled the game. Rivets would win. 3-1 is tapped foul up the third base line. So the count is run full. Sanchez trying to come back for the third out of this bottom of the 7th.
It definitely is much more difficult to pull a pitcher when they're doing well, because when you pull a pitcher when they're doing poorly, it's a much more simple decision. You're trying to stop the bleeding, but
the runner goes, and the pitch misses inside. That's ball 4. And Tito Flores swipes third base without a throw. So Traverse City continues to capitalize on the Rivets' poor command here. Sanchez really struggling in this inning. 2 walks and a hit by pitch, and now Trey Younger has an RBI opportunity with the Spitters in front, 6-0. 1 run already in here in the frame. Younger is hitless tonight, 0 for 2 with a walk. Righty on righty. Sanchez jumps off the rubber and tosses over to first base to keep Steigels close. It's game number 9 of the season series between these teams, and Traverse City is dominated all the way through. Here's the first pitch. Throw down to second as the runner goes, and there goes Flores to the plate, and he scores. It's a double steal, and Flores swipes home plate. So he steals his way from first to second, then second to third, and then third to home. And it's 7-0 Traverse City. Starting to get out of hand for the Rivets. Steigels on second base, and the 1-0 misses high. 2 balls and no strikes on Trey Younger.
And in a game like this, you kind of question why Drew Stengren elects to throw down to second. You know exactly what the Pit Spitters are doing in that situation. It's something that a lot of teams in this league try to take advantage of.
Sanchez 0-2 pitch, popped foul out of play off to the right side. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. The lights have now taken full effect at Turtle Creek Stadium. Fireworks to follow this one. I don't think we'll stay on the air for those. Might be tough to describe fireworks. Sanchez gives a look at the runner Steigels and delivers the 2-1 and misses high. 3 balls and 1 strike. When the Rivets were in Kalamazoo, I did call the pregame home run derbies, and I imagine that's probably a little similar to a fireworks show. Oh, there's a green one, and here's a red one. It blows up over center field. 3-1, grounder up the middle and into center field. Hawkinson comes up throwing. Steigels slides in safely at the plate, and Younger moves to second. He trades places with Steigels, and it's now 8-0. Another 3 spot for the Pit Spitters in the bottom of the 7th. And now at what point do the Rivets take Sanchez out of this game, Ethan?
I think at this point you don't, because tomorrow they'll have A.J. Golembeski and Brett Tauscher available as they were today, and Ryan Green once again will be available, a guy that has pitched well against the Pit Spitters, so gives them 3 arms behind Jared Herzog.
First pitch to Miguel Useche. He flies it into center field. The center fielder Hawkinson shades towards right and makes the grab mid-step and right center field, and that mercifully ends the frame. But Elijah Sanchez lets up 3 more Traverse City runs, and after 7 full, it's the Pit Spitters 8 and the Rockford Rivets nothing on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Headed to the top of the 8th inning, and the Traverse City Pittsburghers lead the Rockford Rivets by 8. It's 8-0 between Great Lakes East rivals. Matchup number 9 of 12 with 8 games to go in the Northwoods League regular season. There's a new arm in the ball game to face the Rivets. It's Anthony Ramirez out of the bullpen. Ramirez is a right-hander from CSU Stanislaus. We'll get to his numbers in a moment. We'll face 8-9-1 in the Rivets order, starting with Drew Stengren. First pitch to the righty, misses inside, 1-0.
Ramirez, a guy that's seen a lot of action out of the pen, 16 appearances, also a 4-0 record on the year, 23 1/3 innings pitched, a 3.86 ERA. That's 10 earned runs.
Here's the 1-0. Shatters the bat, and a comebacker back to the pitcher. The shortstop, Traficante, can't make the play. And Drew Stengren reaches on a broken bat infield single that made it through just about 3 Pittsburghers defenders.
That was an extremely unusual play, especially given that had Traficante fielded that ball cleanly, he would have had a very, very good chance at catching Stengren. Whatever the opposite of fleet-footed, that could describe Drew Stengren pretty well.
Stengren is the catcher, so he's not the fastest moving. Rivets trail 8-0, top of the 8th inning. Runner on first for Jake Bellata. It's the first time the Rivets have put the leadoff runner on tonight. First pitch from Anthony Ramirez. Swinging a ground ball to shortstop, could be 2. Traficante flips to second for 1. The relay from Camilletti not in time. Bellata beats it up the line. Good speed from the Rivets second baseman. And they've still got a base runner with 1 out here in the 8th. Easy out at second. Stengren, you mentioned he wasn't the quickest moving, so he gets cut down there. And Bellata is a base runner after the 6'4" fielder's choice.
It appears they may have just gone back and ruled the ball by Drew Stengren an error, probably on Cam Traficante.
Interesting ruling there. First pitch to Goodman in there for a called strike. Fastball on the outside corner. 0-1. It's first error of the ball game for the Pittsburghers.
And they actually placed the error on the pitcher Ramirez, who was the first of the 3 players to miss the ball.
Ramirez sets at the belt and delivers. Breaking ball misses high and outside. It's 1-1. I disagree with that ruling, and here's why. Not to make excuses, but that ball shattered Drew Stengren's bat, and Ramirez had about 4 or 5 pieces flying back at him. He lost the baseball and it rolled past him. He didn't touch it, I don't think. Here's the 1-1, slapped foul back to the screen, 1-2.
While I agree with the general sentiment of what you just said, I do dispute one thing. He did definitely touch that ball. That's why it slowed up so much between the pitcher's mound and second base. But like you said, I'm not ruling that one an error on him. Maybe on Traficante, but that seems like a tough call in itself.
Ramirez delivers the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses high and outside again. It's 2-2. We can sit here and dispute scores, decisions, all we like. We just talk about the game. Ramirez gets the sign from the catcher, Useche. Here comes the 2-2. You guessed it, a breaking ball that misses high and outside, and the count is full.
We've seen the Rivets put up some big numbers in late frames, but this 8 will be a tall task to handle, especially with already 1 down.
Here's the payoff to Goodman with Bellata getting a head start. It misses outside, and the Rivets have 2 on with 1 out in the top of the 8th, trailing by 8 runs. Connor Goodman aboard for the first time tonight. The reason the Rivets have struggled so much on offense, Cade Heil, the starting pitcher for Traverse City, was masterful in 7 innings of work. He surrendered 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. The junior from North Georgia put on a show, arguably his best start of the summer. Jack Cavanaugh, a right-handed batter, climbs in now. First pitch from Anthony Ramirez is on the way. Misses down and in, 1-0.
Going back to Heil, and while the numbers already show you how solid this performance was, being here in person, you just never really felt like the Rivets were going to get it going against him. They weren't hitting balls hard as they normally do, even when their offense is struggling. It was just a really good outing by Heil.
Here's the 1-0. Fastball just off the outside corner, taken for ball 2. You're right about that. More times than not, the Rivets are able to make contact and put the ball in play a lot, and sometimes they just get bad luck. There are a lot of good bats in this lineup. Hitting is the strength of this team, but not tonight. Ramirez sets and deals. Foul ball over the screen and well out of play. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike on Kavanaugh. He's 1 for 3 tonight with a single back in the 4th. Was an infield dribbler, the Rivets' first hit of the ball game against Heil. And the discussion that we were having between innings, I think Heil could have came back out for the 8th. I would have liked to see that.
I definitely agree with you there. Would have loved to see that as well.
The 2-1 is lifted foul off to the right side out of play. It bounces around like a pinball in a pinball machine. A number of young fans trying to snag that. Excuse me. It's 2-2 on Kavanaugh now. Ramirez lets the arm hang. As I heard another noisemaker in the stands in Traverse City. They came prepared tonight. I think that sounded like one of those World Cup trumpets. I don't know what exactly they're called.
Vuvuzela.
Yes. The 2-2 misses outside. Useche can't get a clean glove on it, but Jake Bellata did not get a good read. So the count is full on the Rivets' second batter, Jack Kavanaugh, with runners on first and second.
While I like the idea of a Vuvuzela in the stands, I think it was something much more simple. It sounded like a truck horn to me, maybe from the nearby road.
Well, it could be. We can see cars moving out in the distance, but we haven't heard any other car horns all night. Here's the payoff to Kavanaugh. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Throw down to first base, not in time. They're trying to backpick Goodman to end the inning. But Jake Bellata swipes third base. So the Rivets have their first run of the ball game 90 feet away. There's 2 down for Kevin Bush. Now Rivets losing 8-zip.
And they definitely have to plate at least 1 run here. If at the most that gives them a little bit of momentum going into tomorrow, maybe this game is already out of reach, but definitely out of reach if they have to go into the 9th trailing still by 8.
Here's Kevin Bush now. He's 0 for 3. Probably due for a base hit or heck, a home run. You never know. Righty on righty, and the first pitch is fouled straight back. That's 0-1.
Yes, the Rivets have been waiting anxiously for a Bush bomb. A guy that absolutely raked at Benedictine this year. 17 home runs, I believe. Brings a lot of power to this Rivets lineup.
He's had great success. Batting .280. 3 RBIs. On base percentage of .383. Pretty darn good. Here's the 0-1. Fastball misses above the letters. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bushnell is going to be a guy that the Rivets probably lean on a lot down the stretch. 8 games remain, just 7 after tonight, which is so hard to believe. Ramirez fires. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball outside, tailing away from the righty. 1-2. Nice pitch from Ramirez. Getting that breaking ball going. He struggled a little bit this inning. No damage done yet, though. Connor Goodman on first, Jake Bellata on third. Ramirez sets head high, brings the glove down to the belt, and delivers the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball called strike 3, right down M22. And Kevin Bushnell slams his bat in disgust, walking back to the Rivets' first base dugout. Rockford can't capitalize on another opportunity. They strand runners on the corners. And after 7.5, it's Traverse City 8, Rivets nothing on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. It's the bottom of the 8th inning at Turtle Creek Stadium with the Traverse City Pittsburghers out in front of the Rockford Rivets 8-0. Elijah Sanchez is back out for another inning of relief work after he let up 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th. He'll face 8-9-1 in the Traverse City order. Rivets 7 games out of a playoff spot with 8 games to go. First pitch to Traficante, a little looper down the left field line. That one drops into the bullpen. It's 0-1. Season coming to a close in the Northwoods League. Traverse City's headed to the playoffs. The Rivets are not. Sanchez winds and fires. Fastball catches the outside corner quickly. 0-2 on Traficante, who had an RBI single back in the 6th inning. In case you're just joining us, Traverse City scoring 2 in the 1st, 3 in the 6th, and 3 in the 7th. 0-2 offering lifted down the left field line. Foul. Goodman and Bannon give chase and watch it sail into the stands. Brendan Lowry started pretty good for the Rivets. Struggled in the 1st inning, let up those 2 runs, but then settled in. But then he just ran out of gas in the 6th inning, and that really started the downfall of the Rivets in this ball game, who haven't been able to get anything going on the other side of the scorecard. Here's another 0-2. Misses high.
And even moving away from the pitching, you cannot win a game with 8 zeros on the board. The Rivets just 4 hits so far and a straight line of goose eggs out on the scoreboard.
1-2, lifted foul again off to the left side out of play. We'll do it again. The Rivets have been shut out twice this season, both by the same team. Can you guess who, Ethan?
I would have to guess it's the Traverse City Pittsburghers.
It is indeed. Very good. Here's another 1-2. Misses high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. You win a prize.
What is it?
A high five.
Oh, sick.
Sanchez delivers the 2-2 pitch. Fouled off again. What an at-bat from Camden Traficante. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes, and Sanchez is probably pretty frustrated. His job at this point is just to eat innings for the Rivets. He's up to 54 pitches in 2+ innings of work. Here's the 2-2. Fastball just misses outside. The Rivets were getting ready to toss that one around the horn, but instead the count runs full.
Yeah, Drew Stengren definitely thought that one clipped the outer edge of the plate. A bit of a different zone than we saw yesterday.
Here's the payoff. It misses down and inside, and Camden Traficante wins a long battle. A 9-pitch at-bat results in a leadoff walk to start the bottom of the 8th. It's Traverse City 8, Rivets nothing. So here's the 9-batter Jake Arnold, who belted his only home run of the season against the Rivets back in Traverse City's 22-12 win over the Rivets on August 4th. Righty on righty in the first pitch, swinging a foul back. 0-1. Arnold 0 for 3 tonight. And I watched him take some batting practice today, and he crushed the baseball. I think he was the only hitter I saw in BP to hit a home run.
And it's even harder to hit a home run here in BP than it is in a game. I mean, you don't get the power return from the fastball on your BP swings. To hit one out here is a pretty impressive feat.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Sails high, 1 ball, 1 strike. The lines are 320 to each corner, 400 to dead center field. The wind is still. We're not very close to Grand Traverse Bay. Here's the 1-1. Swinging another foul back. Arnold is right on Sanchez, but it's 1-2. And I think I just heard the vuvuzela again.
Yes, and we heard it between innings as well. It appears I was incorrect. It was not just a truck horn from the nearby road, but I still have no visual on the vuvuzela. We've got a good view of the crowd from up here, but you would think something like that would stand out.
Elijah Sanchez steps off the rubber and throws over to first base to check on Traficante. He's back safely. And now the 1-2 to Arnold. Swing and a miss. He got him on a breaking ball, tailing away from the righty. That's out number 1 in the bottom of the 8th frame. 8-0 Spitters. You want my binoculars to try and look for it?
I think I'm all right.
Zeb Ruse climbs in the box now. Fans still very much into it. The entire Traverse City dugout on the top step, clapping their hands over their head as Ruse climbs in the box. Right in rhythm with his walk-up song. Righty on righty, and the first pitch is in there for a called strike. Fastball paints the outer black. 0-1.
And do you think manager Josh Rebamp puts Zeb Ruse in the leadoff spot so they could start the game off with that? Or do you think it's because he's a leadoff hitter?
Well, I mean, Ruse does have an on-base percentage of .402 entering tonight's contest, and he has walked 3 times. The 0-1 runs up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike on the league's hit by pitch leader. Ruse has 19.
That's just an unbelievable number. That's almost once every 3 games. He has more than double his next highest teammate and more than double of any Rivet.
The 1-1 misses high. It's 2 balls and a strike, and I think that's why he's in the leadoff spot. But it doesn't hurt to get the crowd into it, especially early in the game, and Pittsburgh's fans have been engaged all night long. They tend to be. They sold out this place for the Northwoods League Championship game in 2019, which the Pittsburghers would come out on top of. Sanchez deals, and he misses outside with a fastball, 3-1. I don't know about you, but I'd love to see this place sold out, or really any Northwoods League stadium sold out, playoff atmosphere. My 3 years with the team, the Rivets haven't sniffed it, unfortunately. But there's nothing like a atmosphere of playoff baseball. The 3-1 is in there for a called strike. Sanchez going to the inside corner this time. So it's full.
I know personally, if the standings shake out as we expect and Kokomo makes the playoffs, I'll definitely look into going to a game in Indiana. I live in Western Ohio for most of my year, so not a horrible drive to Central Indiana. I'd definitely like to see a Northwoods League playoff game.
I know my broadcast partner from 2019, Corey Berberian, went way out of his way to come see a playoff game here. Payoff to Ruse, swing and a miss, he got him. Fastball on the outside corner. Sanchez with his second K of the inning. Traficante remains on first base. And there's 2 down in the bottom of the 8th inning. Traverse City ahead 8-0. But Corey, on his way back to Syracuse, New York, mind you, drove all the way up here to watch Traverse City play the Kalamazoo Growlers. And he called the playoff game with Kalamazoo's broadcaster, Bennett Wise, another one of my good friends from 2019. I'm sure the place was jumping then. Camilletti, a lefty, steps in now, and Sanchez steps off and throws over to first again. Traficante dives in safely.
I can just imagine how much that lawn space beyond the fence fills up too. Obviously the stands would look amazing, packed to the brim with fans, but the lawn areas are a really cool aspect of this park as well.
First pitch to Camilletti, called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. This is one of the few Northwoods League stadiums that has seating 360 degrees around the field, with the exception of the center field batter's eye. The kick in the 0-1, pulled on the ground through the first baseman, Charlie Allison, into right. Traficante is going to go first to third. Camilletti stops at first base with a 2-out single. Traverse City's looking for more. Runners on the corners with 2 down, leading by 8. So here's Tito Flores walking up to Wine, Beer, Whiskey, a song that prominently features his name, as the Vuvuzela is blown in celebration of Flores at bat, I suppose. We've got Hawkeyes on it over here.
I'm trying my best. I personally don't have great vision, but I'm trying to scout the crowd.
First pitch to the righty, Flores. Breaking ball misses low and outside. 1-0. Sanchez steps off before delivering the 1-0 pitch. Nice night for baseball in northwestern Michigan. Temperature now comfortable, around 75. 1-0 pitch is popped up to the right side of the infield. Jake Bellata ranges into shallow right and gives way for the right fielder, Cavanaugh, who can't make the catch. Traficante scores from third base. Camilletti into third, and Tito Flores into second base with what's likely to be scored a double.
Yeah, the Rivets have really had a lot of trouble with outfield communication recently. I understand that normally you give way to the outfielders, but I personally think Jake Bellata was settled under that ball to a degree where he could have made the catch and ended the inning. Not really sure why he gave way on that play, but we've seen a couple of those over the past week or so for Rockford.
That will be scored an RBI double for Flores to make it a 9-0 ball game. Only increasing that run differential between the Rivets and Pittspitters this summer. It's gargantuan. Evan Madej climbs in with runners on second and third, and the first pitch misses high and outside, 1-0. So with the 9 runs tonight, Traverse City's run differential versus Rockford is 97-33. Ouch. 1-0 misses outside again, 2 balls, no strikes.
222 spots will definitely do that to you, but a shutout, not much more of a help either.
This would be the Rivets' 3rd shutout of the season, all against Traverse City. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Breaking ball sails high, 3 balls and no strikes. With 2 outs here, what do you say we take a look at this date in baseball history?
Yeah, why not?
If we get a little time here, we'll see if Madej swings away on 3-0. It's on the way. And he takes strike 1. The foremost event in baseball history on this August 7th. This date in 2007, in front of a very supportive home crowd at AT&T Park, Barry Bonds surpasses Hank Aaron as the all-time home run leader. And the 3-1 is grounded down to first base, stabbed by Charlie Allison, and he flips to Sanchez covering first base. And that ends the frame. But Traverse City gets 1 more run to make it 9-0 over the Rockford Rivets. Last chance for the Screws coming up after a short break on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. It's 9-0 Spitters. Top of the 9th inning at Turtle Creek Stadium in Traverse City, Michigan. In case you're just joining us, you may have joined us at a bad time. It's 9-0 Traverse City over the Rivets. Top of the 9th, last chance for the Screws, and they'll square off against the righty, Maddox Hoagland, into the ball game.
Maddox Hoagland making his second appearance of the year. Threw an inning and a third against these same Rockford Rivets back on August 4th. Gave up 3 hits, but ultimately a scoreless outing. The native of nearby Cadillac, Michigan, just joined the team at the beginning of the month.
He'll face 4, 5, 6 in the Rivets order, starting with Charlie Allison, who takes the first pitch inside. Hoagland working from the windup, kicks and fires the 1-0. Swinging a foul ball off the mask of Miguel Useche, the catcher. Home plate umpire Leo Cintron out to check on him. He's all right. Traverse City scoring 2 in the first, 3 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th, and 1 in the 8th. Here's the 1-1. Liner over the shortstop, Camden Traficante, into left center field, and it kicks away from the left fielder, Trey Younger. But Allison will stop at first base. No use for over-aggressive base running here. Rivets down by 9 in the top of the 9th, but now there's a runner on for Brandon Bannon.
And I'm sure that feels good for Charlie Allison, a guy who's had a couple offers over the past few days. Really a good hitter, right? Has done really well at the JUCO ranks, just hasn't had a lot of reps this summer and came into a Rivets team that had a lot of reps with a lot of opponents that have had a lot of reps.
First pitch to Brandon Bannon misses downstairs. Bannon is 0 for 2 with a walk. Bannon is another guy who's settled in, struggled a little bit at first, but now he's turned it on a little. The kick in the 1-0. Little flare, hop to second base. Camilletti goes to second for 1. The turn is not made from the shortstop, Traficante. That's the first out of the inning as Allison is cut down. Rivets still have a runner on first, but there's one away in the top of the 9th, 9-0 Traverse City. It's the 65th game of 72 for both these teams. And the season has been a little kinder to one of these teams rather than the other. First pitch to Donovan Noble in there for a called strike on the outside corner. Noble is 2 for 3. 2 singles. Good night for him in his Rivets debut. The Rivets 27-36. In great danger of falling to 27-37. Traverse City 10 games over 500 at 37-27. Here's the 0-1, swinging a foul back, quickly 0-2.
It's good to see Noble coming right in here, making an impact. A guy who, like you said, has played some summer ball already this year, but coming in as effectively the replacement to Brody Harding, a guy who's made a huge impact on this lineup for 2 years now. So big shoes to fill for Donovan Noble, and he's had a good first night.
Donovan Noble stepping in for Brody Harding, who had a big impact on the Rivets lineup and had a little bit of an impact on the Twitter world today. He went viral for a strike 3 call that he was rung up on in his final at-bat of the summer. Hoagland sets and delivers the 0-2 pitch. Line drive down the left field line, fair into the corner. Bannon rounding second. He's going to head for third and stop there. And Donovan Noble cruises into second with a double, his 3rd hit of the night in his Rivets debut.
He's got half the hits for Rockford so far. Really an impressive piece of hitting there. Got out in front of an off-speed pitch there, but got enough on it, kept it in play, and was moving around the bases.
He is fleet-footed, as is Bannon. Wouldn't have surprised me if that ball took a bad bounce. I think JT Scarra definitely would have sent Bannon. The Rivets have a chance to break up this shutout with 1 out in the top of the 9th, trailing 9-zip. Johannes Hawkinson, the former Pittsburgher, looking to do some damage against his former teammates. First pitch runs high and tight. 1-0. Looked like Yo was going to square and bunt.
And we saw this yesterday as well. Johannes has been in a bit of a cold spell, but he is a skilled bunter. Maybe trying to just push that run across here and maybe pick up a hit for himself.
Hoagland tosses the 1-0. It's grounded to shortstop. Traficante gobbles it up and throws to first in time, but the shutout is over. It's an RBI ground out for Johannes Hawkinson. Brandon Bannon scores from third base, and it's 9-1 with 2 outs in the ninth. So if there's one positive, it's the Rivets didn't toss up another 0 in that runs column. Scored a 6-3 ground out for Hawkinson, who's 0 for 4 tonight. 7th RBI of the summer, and now the Rivets' last chance is Drew Stengren. Righty on righty, and the first pitch. Swinging a slow grounder to second base. Camilletti gloves it on the charge, and he throws in time to first base. And the ball game is over. A rather uneventful one for the Rockford Rivets. They fall 9-1, and they fall to 1-8 on the summer against the Traverse City Pittsbitters. We'll be right back to wrap it up from Turtle Creek Stadium after this on the Rockford Rivets Baseball Network. Back to wrap it up from Turtle Creek Stadium. The final lines in this one. First for the victorious Traverse City Pittsbitters. 9 runs on 8 hits, 1 error, and 6 runners left on base. For the Rivets, 1 run on 6 hits, 1 error, and 7 runners left on base. The pitchers of record, Cade Heil picks up the victory. He went 7 innings of scoreless ball, while Brendan Lowry, who pitched into the 6th inning, went 5+, surrendered 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 6 walks. Well, it was another big Saturday night crowd in Traverse City of, as we just mentioned, 2,207. Under a cloudy sky, 81 degrees. Nice night for baseball, but not so much for the Rockford Rivets, as Brendan Lowry had a pretty solid start, maybe the highlight of the game until the 6th inning when Traverse City scored 3 times, and then in the 7th they scored 3 more times and tacked one on in the 8th inning after they chipped 2 runs off of Brendan Lowry in the 1st inning. And Ethan, what are your final thoughts here?
Honestly, I can't put this game on the pitching. I mentioned it in the 7th or 8th. You can't win a game when you put up 8 zeros. The Rivets only scraping across the run in the 9th. Obviously, there is some fault to the pitchers, but the offense should really take the blunt of this one today. Just could never get it going, but you still got to give credit to Cade Heil. A great performance from him. We did see some solid pitching from him and Lowry, but Heil really showed out tonight. Maybe a pitcher of the night in order.
He could. He only struck out 7, though, so I don't know if he's eligible.
And he plays in the Lakes.
Yes, we'll see. Of course, the Northwoods League favors any pitcher that strikes out double-digit batters. But, hey, we won't really get too far into detail. All you got to know is Cade Heil was a machine tonight, leading to another tough Rivets loss. They fall to 27-37 on the summer, while Traverse City improves to 38-27. 11 games over 500, in stark contrast to the Rockford Rivets. These two teams are going to be back at it again tomorrow at 5:05 Eastern Time from Turtle Creek Stadium, 4:05 back home in the Central Time Zone, and we hope you'll join us. Me and Ethan Blake will be back in with you then. But for now, we're going to say so long from Turtle Creek Stadium before the fireworks get launched off here in a few moments. So for my partner, Ethan Blake, this is Larry Larson saying so long and good night from Traverse City, Michigan. Again, the final, the Rivets fall to the Traverse City Pittsbitters 9-1. So long, everybody.